Mike Kekich, the starting pitcher for the Yankees. And Dick Drago will be on the mound for the Kansas City Royals. Both men have even records. Kekich is 1-1. Drago is 3-3. And this year, neither man has faced the opposition because this is only the second ball game between these two clubs. The first game last night. Lifetime, Drago is 14-16, and Kekich is 7-18. Against the Yankees, Drago is 1-1 lifetime, and Kekich has a record of 0-1. Mike Kekich picked up his first win of the season in his last ball game, and that was Friday night as he bested Jim Perry of the Minnesota Twins, which is a good man, the best. The Yankees won that ball game 4-2 for their first victory in 2 years at Minnesota, and Mike Kekich was the winning pitcher. He only went 5 1/3 innings. He allowed 2 runs on 5 hits. Lindy McDaniel went the last 3 2/3 innings without allowing a run and saved the game for Mike Kekich. Kekich has been like the little girl with the curl. When he's good, he's very, very good, and when he's bad, well, he's been having his trouble. But when he is good, he's as tough a pitcher as there is around. And when we say good, basically we mean when he has control, because he has all the stuff. He pitched 2 one-hitters in the National League, one of those against the New York Mets, and had no hitters going into the 7th inning on both occasions. However, Kekich, in his lifetime, still has only won 7 ball games. Now, in all fairness, though, this year he was going great in spring training. First start of the season, he pulled a hamstring muscle here against Cleveland. He was out for more than 21 days. And then when he came back, he was used in relief out on the West Coast and was hit pretty hard. However, his last 2 starts, one at Cleveland, in which he looked pretty impressive, was not involved in the decision. And his last game Friday night, he looked as if he may be regaining the form that he had in spring training. Right now, the umpires are making their appearance here at Yankee Stadium. And we'll use the opportunity to run down the scoreboard for you. Chicago playing at Washington. They've been delayed because of rain. Tommy John and Joe Coleman Jr. in that one. Delayed because of rain, Chicago at Washington. Minnesota and Boston, the warm-up pitchers. Siebert against Zepp. Baltimore and Oakland will be much later. Cleveland at Milwaukee later. And what a night for Craig Nettles last night. He had 3 home runs in that doubleheader. Detroit will be at California for a night game, and that'll be much later. In the National League, the Mets and the Braves postponed because of rain. The field has been underwater at Atlanta. They called that one up a long time ago. They called it off. Chicago beat Los Angeles 6-5 this afternoon. For the Cubs, 6-13-3, and for the Dodgers, 5-9-1. The Cubs won it in the bottom half of the 11th inning. The winning pitcher was Aguirre. His record is 3-0, and the loser, Pena, his record is 3-1. San Francisco and St. Louis, a night game. Philadelphia at Cincinnati is Bunning against Nolan. Montreal at Houston later on, and San Diego at Pittsburgh has also been rained out. So it's been raining all over the East, on and off. We mentioned the game rained out down in Atlanta, rained out at Pittsburgh. Time has been called at Washington, and we had a rain shower here earlier. And right now, the New York Yankees take the field. The Yankees in second place in the American League's Eastern Division. The Yankees with a record of 27 wins and 23 losses, 7.5 games behind the Baltimore Orioles, and 2.5 games ahead of the third-place Washington Senators. Washington won last night, as did Baltimore. However, the Detroit Tigers were defeated, so they fell another game behind the Yankees. The Yankees now 3.5 games ahead of the Tigers. At Yankee Stadium, our national anthem.
Twilight
so we're just about set for baseball here at Yankee Stadium. Mike Kekich going to the mound for the New York Yankees. And right away tonight, he'll have to work to keep Pat Kelly off base. Kelly can certainly run. He's the brother of Leroy Kelly of the Cleveland Browns. He's very good at getting on base, and once he gets on, you will automatically have to watch and prevent the steal. It's a gray, overcast night with ominous-looking clouds overhead right at Yankee Stadium, but at the moment, there is no rain, and the fans are right down on the box seats, getting set to hopefully enjoy the ball game tonight. Clouds moving very fast, and the lights, of course, on here at Yankee Stadium, although there is still a considerable amount of daylight. So the formalities are out of the way, and we're all set for baseball. The Yankees and the Kansas City Royals, and here to tell you about it, Phil Rizzuto.
All right, Robert, thank you very much. And a young man up there, I thought it was a mistake when I looked at the averages. Pat Kelly has 20 stolen bases. He and Tommy Harper have 20. They're one behind Bobby Bonds, who leads the majors with 21. Bobby with the San Francisco Giants. So Pat Kelly steps in, a left-hand batter. First pitch by Kekich is inside as Kelly had run up as if to bunt, ball one. And as Bob and Frank mentioned last night, Pat Kelly is the brother of the great Leroy Kelly, great running back for the Cleveland Browns. I remember one time Bob Stennett tried to tackle Leroy Kelly, and that's how he got that bad knee. The pitch is right down the middle, strike called 1-1. The 1-1 pitch on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kelly is batting .267. 3 doubles, 2 homers, and 9 runs batted in. Joe Schultz, the coach, at third. See, Danny Carnival was at first last night. Curve bounced to first base. Cato one-hands it, races to the bag. It's 1 out. Good man to keep off the bases, Pat Kelly. That brings up Jackie Hernandez, hitting .233 with 3 doubles, a triple, a homer, 5 runs batted in. Mike Kekich, who picked up his first win of the year his last time out against the Twins. Pitch by Mike, bluff bunt, and it's in there, strike 1 call. Getting a little cooler right now. Wind blowing those clouds away from the stadium. The 1-strike pitch, 1 attempt down third, but it's foul. He got a good jump on that ball. Jerry Kenney fields the ball in foul territory, 0-2. Hernandez back to the plate. The lights are on here at the stadium. It's still quite bright out. Early in the game last night, Bobby Mercer had trouble with a fly ball. Well, it's not quite dark here. Between dusk and darkness, you can lose balls that are hit high in the air. A swing and a miss, strike 3. As Kekich fired the fastball by Hernandez. 2 men out. And now Amos Otis, hitting .287. 9 doubles, 3 triples, 5 homers, 18 runs batted in. And Otis has 9 stolen bases. Otis's record on stolen bases is even more impressive when you realize he has not been thrown out. He has 9 stolen bases in 9 attempts. The pitch is high, ball 1. Pat Kelly now, on the other hand, has 20 stolen bases, but he's been thrown out 10 other times. So in 30 attempts, he's stolen 20 bases. Of course, Otis's record is even better. There's a bunt attempt fouled off and off the shin guard of Thurman Munson. 1-1. Two out, nobody on. No score. We're in the top of the first. Two out, nobody on. Big Bob Oliver on deck. The windup and the changeup is lined to left field. This could be in the seats. And White cannot get to it. It hits the top of the railing and bounces in, a home run for Amos Otis. And Mike Kekich tried to get the changeup by Otis, got it up a little too high. And Otis drills home run number 6. It hit the top of the railing on the left field wall. Had White been able to get over there in time, he could have caught it, but it was more of a line drive. And Kansas City leads 1-0. And that Amos Otis is really enjoying Yankee pitching here early in the season.
From what we've seen of the trade the Royals made with the Mets, it looks like a good trade for the Royals. Not only Otis, but also the way Bob Johnson pitched last night.
Certainly does. And, of course, Joey Foy is a tried and tested ball player, though he has had a bad start this year. Bob Gamere mentioned that Amos Otis was 3 for 4 last night. This base hit now makes him 4 for 5 so far. Bob Oliver takes a pitch outside, ball 1. Oliver's hitting .291, 9 doubles, 3 triples, 9 homers, and 35 runs batted in. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1. If I remember rightly, Bob, in Minnesota, Kekich threw a lot of changeups, and though he was not touched for base hits, a lot of long fouls hit off him.
Right, they got a hold of a couple of them.
So he's been working on it. That's the first year he's thrown it. Really thrown it. Fastball a little high, 2-1. The best part of a change of pace, it looks so inviting to the hitter that they'll swing at it no matter where it is. And if you make it too good, like that last pitch to Otis, then you're in trouble. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 2, 2-2.
Of course, on a night like this, there's nothing like getting the jump. It's always nice to get a jump at a ball game, but when there is a threat of rain, you like to get it even more so than usual.
Right, Bob, because you figure could go just 5 innings, and 1 run can be so important. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Kekich gets 2 strikeouts in the inning, 1 hit, and 1 run, the homer by Otis. Nobody left, and at the end of 1/2 inning, it's Kansas City 1 and the Yankees coming to bat.
I'm Robert, the roving reporter, looking for all the news that fits the print.
Welcome to Jim Schultz's Schenectady Chrysler Plymouth, where we have all the cars that fit your budget.
I've come to investigate this man bites deal story that's going around. It'll make a good story, so shoot.
Yeah, okay. At Jim Schultz's Schenectady Chrysler Plymouth, it only takes a minute for everybody to bite the best deal. Duster at $21.72.
Right.
There's more. Less $800 in trade.
Got you.
That makes $1,372 total.
Okay, I'll print that. Now, what does your competition say?
That isn't fit to print.
It only takes a minute to get a better deal.
That's how we do it at Jim Schultz's Schenectady Chrysler Plymouth. Jim Schultz's Schenectady Chrysler Plymouth, 1016 State Street, Route 5, 1 minute from downtown Schenectady.
One run in the top half of the first inning. Amos Otis' home run. It just barely made it. But a home run is a home run, and it's 1-0 in favor of the Kansas City Royals. A line drive by Amos Otis. We might add, however, that he did have to hit it against the wind. The wind is blowing very hard and right out towards right field. You hit it to right field, you're going to be helped, especially if you get it up in the air. The ball Bluffery hit last night, if he hit it tonight, should be even further up because he hit it high. And anything hit high and out towards right field or right center will be helped. Anything else towards left field will not be helped by the wind, and it might even be hurt a little bit. So Dick Drago has a 1-run lead as we go to the bottom of the first, and here's Phil.
All right, Drago has a .500 record this year. He's won 3, lost 3. First appearance against the Yankees this year, and lifetime against New York, 1 win and 1 defeat. Horace Clark hitting .268 steps in, 8 doubles, 2 homers, 17 runs batted in. And now it is raining, and raining hard. All of a sudden, the first pitch to Clark is strike 1 call. Started to come down real hard. The plate umpire, George Maloney, looking up. Wind is blowing hard. We'll see what they're going to do. The fans are really scurrying. There's a pitch low, 1-1. With the wind blowing like this, they might let the game go a little while, hoping that it will blow the clouds away, although it is coming down straight and hard right now. The 1-1 pitch on the outside corner, a ball and 2 strikes.
So the way those clouds have moved in, you just get the impression that it's just a question of time before it rains too hard and they have to put the top back on. Incidentally, it was on the field earlier, so it won't be an easy task to cover the field. That thing is wet.
And when it gets wet, it gets heavy. The pitch, a curve hit in the right field. That'll be a base hit. Dropping in front of Pat Kelly. And Clark hit that ball right off the end of the bat and dunks it in shallow right field. And time is now being called by George Maloney, and he's telling the ground crew to put the tarpaulin on, and it's a good thing he did, and we hope they get it down in time. It is really coming down now.
Bob Gamere with Phil Rizzuto and Frank Messer. The rain has stopped here at Yankee Stadium, and we're about to resume play. Horace Clark is on first base for the Yankees. It's 1-0 Kansas City on Amos Otis's home run. Jerry Kenney is the batter. No count on him, and here's Phil.
All right, Bob. So the delay was not too long. The pitch to Kenney almost hits him, as I saw a bolt of lightning beyond the scoreboard in right center. A jagged streak of lightning that cut through the night. Sound like a poet, don't I? That might be the last bit of poetic justice you'll hear if another bolt comes. Throw to first base, and Clark is back. 20-minute delay, says Bob Fischel. Nobody out. Yankees trailing 1-0, bottom of the first. The stretch and the pitch foul. Back and in the press box. And let's see. Maury Allen got it after a couple of bounces. Was not fielded cleanly. Maury Allen, by the way, is the official scorer. How I love giving him an error. Frank Messer has given him an error. I'll still give Maury Allen an error. 1-1 on Kenney. In at third base is Bob Oliver. Clark leads the pitch. Line to center field, a base hit. Otis up with the ball. Clark rounds second and then comes back. And Jerry Kenney really butcher boyed a high fastball. So he has 3 for 3 his last 3 official times at bat. And the Yankees with runners at first and second, nobody out, and the batter Bobby Mercer.
He and Bluffery have been the hitting stars against this club. Bluffery had the home run, but in addition to the 3 hits that Kenney has had, he also walked, and he got a sacrifice fly last night, and there's another bolt of lightning. Let's hope that's going away from the ballpark.
It looks, at least the wind is blowing everything away from the park. Bobby Mercer, batting .236, 6 doubles, 6 homers, 21 runs batted in. Oliver still in at third. Deep at first is Joe Keel. Pitch to Bobby, a curve hit deep, but foul way back in the upper deck. A hanging curveball that Bobby Mercer really jumped at. A lot of sand has been dumped around the home plate area and the pitcher's box, and about 1/3 of the way down the first base line where a little rain seeped in. But the ground crew, headed by Jimmy Esposito, did a great job getting the tarpaulin down. The pitch outside, and it's 1-1. The rain has cooled things off quite a bit. On deck, Roy White. 1-1 to Bobby Mercer. The stretch. The pitch, swing and a miss, and Bobby was trying to go to left field on that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, Bobby has an important job to do right here. He's got to move those runners along if he doesn't come through with a base hit or a base on balls. And the manager knows, and Bobby knows that's his job. If he can pull a ground ball to the right side of the infield. The pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. And that's what Drago wanted to do and not what Bobby wanted to do. Big strikeout for the big right-hander. 1 out, and here's Roy White. Roy batting .326, 15 doubles, a triple, 7 homers, and 35 runs batted in. So that was a big play. Had Bobby been able to hit the ball on the ground, it would have moved the runners up where they'd be in real good scoring position with only one out. The pitch to White. Foul back on the screen, strike one. Yankees with good speed on the bases and at home plate. Clark at second, Kenny at first, White the batter. One nothing. Kansas City leads on the home run by Amos Otis. Runners lead off first and second. Fastball foul, back upstairs, out of play. 2 quick strikes on Roy White. And on deck, Danny Cater. Dick Hauser coaching at third. Elston Howard at first for the Yankees. First 2 Yankees up single, Clark and Kenny. Mercer was struck out. Stretch by Drago. Just outside, just missed the corner. A ball and 2 strikes.
After those first 2 hits, Phil, they got up Tom Bergmeyer, whom they've just recalled from Omaha, and he's warming up in the bullpen. But Drago settled down. He got Mercer out, and now he's 1-2.
All right. Big hitter up there for Drago. The pitch. High fly ball to right center, but Otis will have no trouble. Clark is tagging up. Otis makes the catch. The throw as Clark goes into third, cut off by Hernandez. Harrison at third, holding at first Kenny. That would have tied up the score had Mercer been able to move the runners up. But now it's 2 out runners at first and third, and the batter, Danny Cater. Danny batting .312, 14 doubles, 3 triples, 3 homers, 36 runs batted in. Ellie Rodriguez, the catcher. Oliver moves back now. First time he's been deep at third base in this first inning. Kenny at first, Clark at third. Danny Cater leads the Yankees in runs batted in with 36. 1 more than Roy White. On deck, Kurt Bluffery. The pitch to Cater, a curve outside, ball 1. They play Danny straight away as he hits to all field. Keogh holds the bag against Kenny. The stretch. The pitch, a ground ball, hits a short. Hernandez, big hop, throws to second for the fourth. Oh! The force play on Kenny, and he almost juggled that ball, the second baseman, but they got him. And for the Yankees, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left. And at the end of 1 full inning, it's Kansas City 1 and the Yankees nothing.
Maybe you don't want to give away your age, but you can probably remember the days when you phoned a grocery store with your food list and they delivered. When bicycles were bought all assembled. When doctors made house calls. Sound good? Well, every time you get a yearning for old-fashioned service again, drive to your nearest Atlantic station and buy gasoline. Then watch them go to work with all their great little extras. You know, like cleaning the windshield, checking the oil level, the radiator, the battery. All free services. And you'll enjoy the way they look out for your well-being in other ways, too. If replacements are required, the Atlantic men do it with top-flight replacement brands. And it's all done effortlessly and in good spirits. Now, please understand this isn't a knock at modern self-service, but you have to admit you'll enjoy a little old-fashioned Atlantic pampering, too.
Back here at Yankee Stadium, it's a 1-0 ball game after 1 complete inning. The Yankees had 2 base hits. The leadoff men, Clark and Kenny, but they were unable to bring them around. Amos Otis has had a home run for Kansas City. That was before we had the rain delay. After Horace Clark got a single in the bottom of the first, we had a rain delay of 20 minutes. And Jimmy Esposito and the ground crew here at Yankee Stadium did a fantastic job. They had to handle a wet tarpaulin. The tarpaulin had been on the playing field. Prior to the start of the game, neither team took batting practice tonight because we had a huge thunder shower around 5:30, and we had another very heavy thunder shower, and as it was pouring rain, they managed to get that heavy tarpaulin on, and they absolutely saved the infield. So it's still 1-0, Kansas City leading as we go now to the top half of the second inning. Now Mike Kekich will see whether he has it or not after the rain delay. Certainly Drago did not appear to be hurt by the rain delay on his part. He came back, gave up that one solid single, but then he got the heart of the Yankee batting order, Bobby Mercer, Roy White, and Danny Cater, and that wound up the first inning. The throw from Thurman Munson goes down to Horace Clark. We're ready for the top half of the second inning, and here's Phil Rizzuto.
Okay, Robert, and coming up to bat, Lou Pinella. Now, what a year he's having. Batting .349, 6 doubles, 5 homers, 24 runs batted in. And Kansas City leading 1-0 in the top of the second. So Mike Kekich gets ready out on the mound. They play Pinella deep. Roy White deep in left. Bluffery is deep in right field, and Pinella's a right-hand batter. Said that rain, the wind not blowing nearly as hard as it had been. The pitch is outside, ball 1. But it has cooled things off. Kekich rocks back. Fastball is low, ball 2, 2-0.
It's raining a little bit right now, Phil, but not nearly as hard as it was before. And now the fans start to move back from the box seats again. We may get some more.
The 2-0 pitch. Check swing, but it's over. 1 ball, rather 2 balls, and 1 strike. Pinella's another one of those ball players when he takes a pitch that he figures he should have swung at, or when he threw to the wrong base last night, he looks up in the air, and I don't know what he's looking for. He's liable to find it, though. The 2-1 pitch on the outside corner, 2-2. Nobody out and nobody on. And the fans are scattering again as the rain starts down. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On deck, Joe Keogh. Pitch to Pinella. Swing and a miss. And I want to tell you, this Kekich is as fast tonight as we've ever seen him. That's 3 strikeouts for Mike. And he has thrown that fastball by Hernandez, by Bob Oliver, and now by Lou Pinella. And here's Joe Keogh. First baseman hitting .324. 2 doubles, a triple, 4 homers, and 13 runs batted in. We're talking about Pat Kelly being the brother of Leroy Kelly. Joe Keogh is the brother of Monty Keogh, who was in the big leagues for quite a few years with the Red Sox and Cincinnati. 1 strike on the left-hand batter. One out, Kekich ready. His curve is taken as Keogh is ready to bunt the ball, but it broke outside and low, 1-1. 1 out, nobody on, 1-0, Kansas City leading in the top of the second. Rain still coming down, but it's steady but not too hard. Curve forces Keogh back. It's 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a foul upstairs and out of play, 2-2. You heard the applause, a fine catch by a fan in the upper deck. And now Kekich wants a new baseball. George Maloney flips one out to him. Count is even at 2-2. Kansas City leading 1-0. Kekich winds his pitch high and tight, ball 3, 3-2. So Kekich ready for the payoff pitch. Here it is, and a ground ball up the middle, and one-hander by Michael to throw. Low, but in time, and they got him. Oh, holy cow, what a play by Michael. That ball was by him, and Gene reached out in back of him, caught the ball off balance, threw it on one hop to Danny Cater, and they nipped the speedy Joe Keel. So Gene Michael, who made that great defensive play last night to help save the game for the Yankees, comes up with a gem here. Beautiful play by Gene. 2 out. And now Dick Severson. Spelled Severson. A foul. Backing out of play. Dick doing a little moonlighting. A lot of people think it's the band leader that plays for Johnny Carson. I know Bob DeMere and I thought it was. Two out. The pitch to the right-hand batter is high, 1-1. Rain has let up a little bit, still coming down. The 1-1 delivery, a curve in there, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good curve by Mike Kekich. Another curve, this one is high, 2-2. Now the 2-2 delivery. Foul upstairs and out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Kansas City in front, 1-0 on the home of Iotas. Mike ready. Fastball hit out in the right field, coming on Bluffery. He's going to play it on 1 hop. And a base hit for Dick Severson, the opposite field single. That'll bring up Ellie Rodriguez. Ellie had himself a couple of base hits last night. He's batting .268. 5 doubles, a triple, a homer, and 6 runs batted in.
Phil, did you hear about the Yankee fan we have here tonight who came all the way from Georgia, believe it or not, for this ball game?
I heard something about it, and I met the young man. Jackie Farrell introduced him to me. Nice kid, Darrell Huckabee. He's just outside of Atlanta, Porterdale, Georgia. The pitch, check swing, it's in there, strike ball.
This fellow graduated from high school yesterday or the day before, and he and his father drove straight through to come to Yankee Stadium so he could see a ball game, and he's going back after the game.
Well, let's hope this one doesn't get rained out so he can see it. He said he was listening to the game last night and got quite excited. Swing and a miss, strike 2, 0-2. Of course, if you've been listening to Yankee games all year, that's all they've been. Exciting ball game. Nothing in 2, 2 out. Yankees trailing 1-0 in the top of the second. Kekich delivers. It's popped up. Gene Michael at shortstop, right near the bag. Makes the catch. For Kansas City, no runs, a base hit, no errors, a man left. And at the end of an inning and a half, it's Kansas City 1, the Yankees 0.
We are having a Brazilian towel dance in celebration of the Brazilian towel sale at your Atlantic service stations. Import a Brazilian bath towels in an elegant jacquard weave for only $1.29. Oh, and the beach towel for only $2.99. And get this, amigo, when you buy the bath mat for only $2.49, you get a hand towel free. Yay, yay, yay! Each towel comes in avocado or gold. You can get one with every purchase of gasoline at a participating Atlantic station. Pretty soon, you'll have enough for your own Brazilian towel dance. Oh, you don't know how? It's simple. You dance to the rhythm of drying your back with a towel.
No purchase required in New Jersey.
At the Atlantic Station.
Ready for the bottom half of the second inning. Dick Drago going back out on the mound for the Kansas City Royals. We had a rain delay of 20 minutes with the Yankees batting in the bottom half of the first inning. It is now raining very steadily here at Yankee Stadium. Nothing like it was coming down in the thunderstorm that we had earlier, but it's raining pretty hard. And most of you people in and around the New York area and even up in New York State know what it's been for the latter part of the day today. In the early evening, rain, and then it'll clear off, and then rain again, and that's what we've been having. We've had 2 thunderstorms going back to 5:30, and right now, well, I'd say it's raining pretty hard, and the umpires could at any moment turn around and call timeout. It's 1-0 on an Amos Otis home run. Look at Amos out there in center field throwing the ball around. There's lightning over his head back beyond the bleachers, and Amos, of course, don't want him to call time because he hit the home run. He doesn't want him to call timeout, and then again, he doesn't want to get hit by lightning either, does he, Phil?
No, everybody or anybody hates to lose a home run, but they'd rather lose a home run than get struck by lightning. Because I've been around when that happened. You know, this Bluffery, he says he's 32 games ahead of last year's home run pace. Did you hear that? Last year, he didn't hit his first home run till the 82nd game that he played with Houston. And he has hit his first home run here in the 50th game played by the Yankees, so he's 32 games ahead of last year's home run pace, whatever Bluffery hit last year. He takes a pitch, low, ball 1. Well, let's see how many home runs Bluffery hit. He still insists that he's going to lead the Yankees in home runs. He's got a good chance if he gets hot. The 1-0 pitch, low, ball 2, 2-0.
Just found the figures. He had 12 home runs last year.
Home runs, all right. So it took him 82 games to hit 1, and then another 80 games to hit 11. But, of course, Harry Walker did change his stance. There's a pitch outside, and high, 3-0. You got him to hit to left field, and that Astro Dome is a tough place to hit home runs. But once Kurt gets the range here, he can get hot, and in 1 week, hit his 12 home runs that he took all year to hit. There's the strike. Now, last night, Bluffery hit a 3-0 pitch for the home run. So it's kind of surprising not to see him swinging again. Here's the 3-1 delivery. Swing and a foul back, and he had a good cut of that one.
Kurt was saying that for him to swing a 3-0, it has to be on the inside part of the plate. Even if he had the go-ahead sign, he would want the ball on the inside part of the plate before he would cut at a 3-0 pitch.
I tell you, the way he stands, he almost has to have that ball on the inside part of the plate if he wants to pull. Here's the payoff pitch. Foul back, look out. Boom, right back in the press box again. Full count. 1-0, Kansas City out in front. It'll be Bluffery, Munson, and Michael. Drago winds the payoff pitch. Hard ground ball, and nice play by the second baseman Severson. Throws Bluffery out, but Kurt, who hit 3 shots last night, 2 of them caught, won the home run, hit a one-hop bullet to the second baseman tonight. So that's going to make him feel better. 1 out now, Thurman Munson. Thurman hitting .257, has 8 doubles, 2 triples, and 15 runs batted in. So Munson, who got off to a real shaky start, both in hitting and fielding, has settled down in both spots now. Hitting much better, fielding much better. Should say catching. Drago winds, pitch to Munson is, no, it's not low. It's just about knee-high, strike 1. Now Thurman steps back. 1 out on deck, Gene Michael. Drago, big right-hander, kicks, delivers a curve swing and a miss. 0-2, and that pitch had broken out of the strike zone. 2 quick strikes on Thurman Munson. Mets were rained out down in Atlanta. Rained out very early. They had rain all day there. Now the two-strike pitch. Fastball right down the middle, and man, did he cross Munson up. Thurman looking for a breaking pitch right there. 2 out, and right now we pause for station identification.
The Yankees at home and away on WGY, Schenectady.
We're going to interrupt our presentation of the Yankee-Kansas City game in order to join the NBC network for President Nixon's address to the nation on Cambodia, Vietnam, and the situation in the East. Immediately following the president's address and the presentation from the network, we'll rejoin the Yankees and Kansas City at Yankee Stadium. So stay right where you are. You'll hear the president's address, and then following that, we'll go back to the ball game. As you know, Kansas City leads. We'll bring you up to date on what happens while you're away before we rejoin the ball game. All of this yours on WGY, Schenectady, New York. It's now 9 o'clock.
This is NBC News. President Nixon gives an interim report on the war in Indochina. This is Carl Stern, NBC News, Washington. From the White House, President Nixon is about to deliver a brief interim report on American operations in Cambodia and Vietnam. Aides declined to guarantee anything special would be announced, although the president received a high-level military briefing Sunday. Mr. Nixon is anxious to blunt Senate criticism of the Cambodian action. His supporters today were unable to soften a Senate resolution which would cut off money for any future U.S. forays into Cambodia. Here now is the President of the United States.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. 1 month ago, I announced the decision ordering American participation with South Vietnamese forces in a series of operations against communist-occupied areas in Cambodia, which have been used for 5 years as bases for attacks on our forces in South Vietnam. This past weekend in the Western White House in California, I met with Secretary Laird, General Abrams, and other senior advisors to receive a first-hand report on the progress of this operation. Based on General Abrams' report, I can now state that this has been the most successful operation of this long and very difficult war. Before going into the details which form the basis for this conclusion, I believe it would be helpful to review briefly why I considered it necessary to make this decision, what our objectives were, and the prospects for achieving those objectives. You will recall that on April 20th, I announced the withdrawal of an additional 150,000 American troops from Vietnam within a year, which will bring the total number withdrawn since I have taken office to 260,000. I also reaffirmed on that occasion our proposals for a negotiated peace. At the time of this announcement, I warned that if the enemy tried to take advantage of our withdrawal program by increased attacks in Cambodia, Laos, or South Vietnam in a way that endangered the lives of our men remaining in South Vietnam, that I would, in my capacity as Commander-in-Chief of our armed forces, take strong action to deal with that threat. Between April 20th and April 30th, Communist forces launched a series of attacks against a number of key cities in neutral Cambodia. Their objective was unmistakable: to link together bases they had maintained in Cambodia for 5 years in violation of Cambodian neutrality. The entire 600-mile Cambodian-South Vietnam border would then have become one continuous hostile territory from which to launch assaults upon American and Allied forces. This posed an unacceptable threat to our remaining forces in South Vietnam. It would have meant higher casualties. It would have jeopardized our program for troop withdrawals. It would have meant a longer war. And carried out in the face of an explicit warning from this government, failure to deal with the enemy action would have eroded the credibility of the United States before the entire world. After very intensive consultations with my top advisors, I directed that American troops join the South Vietnamese in destroying these major enemy bases along the Cambodian frontier. I said when I made this announcement, our purpose is not to occupy these areas. Once the enemy forces are driven out of the sanctuaries and once their supplies are destroyed, we will withdraw. That pledge is being kept. I said further on that occasion, we take this action not for the purpose of expanding the war into Cambodia, but for the purpose of ending the war in Vietnam. That purpose is being advanced. As of today, I can report that all of our major military objectives have been achieved. 43,000 South Vietnamese took part in these operations, along with 31,000 Americans. Our combined forces have moved with greater speed and success than we had planned. We have captured and destroyed far more in war material than we anticipated. And American and Allied casualties have been far lower than we expected. In the month of May, in Cambodia alone, we captured a total amount of enemy arms, equipment, ammunition, and food nearly equal to what we captured in all of Vietnam in all of last year. Here's some film of the war material that has been captured. This is some ammunition you see. We've captured more than 10 million rounds of ammunition. That's equal to the enemy's expenditures of ammunition for 9 months. And here also, you see a few of the over 15,000 rifles and machine guns and other weapons we've captured. They will never be used against American boys in Vietnam. This reality was brought home directly to me a few days ago. I was talking with the union leader from New York. His son died in Vietnam this past February. He told me that had we moved earlier in Cambodia, we might have captured the enemy weapon that killed his son. And now you're looking at some of the heavy mortars and rocket launchers and recoilless rifles that have shelled U.S. base camps in Vietnamese towns. We've seized over 2,000 of these, along with 90,000 rounds of ammunition. That's as much as the enemy fires in a whole year. Had this war material made its way into South Vietnam, and had it been used against American and Allied troops, U.S. casualties would have been vastly increased. And here you see rice, 11 million pounds of rice we have obtained. This is more than enough rice to feed all the enemy's combat battalions in Vietnam for over 3 months. But this rice you see will not be feeding enemy troops now, rather the war refugees you saw a moment ago. Now, with the rainy season now beginning, it will take the enemy months to rebuild his shattered installations and to replace the equipment we have captured or destroyed. The success of these operations to date has guaranteed that the June 30 deadline I set for withdrawal of all American forces from Cambodia will be met. General Abrams advises me that 17,000 of the 31,000 Americans who entered Cambodia have already returned to Vietnam. The remainder will return by the end of this month. This includes all American air support, logistics, and military advisor personnel. The only remaining American activity in Cambodia after July 1st will be air missions to interdict the movement of enemy troops and material where I find that is necessary to protect the lives and security of our men in South Vietnam. Our discussions with the South Vietnamese government indicate that their primary objective remains the security of South Vietnam, and that their activity in Cambodia in the future, after their withdrawal from the sanctuaries, will be determined by the actions of the enemy in Cambodia. When this operation was announced, the critics charged that it would increase American casualties, that it would widen the war, that it would lengthen our involvement, that it might postpone troop withdrawals. But the operation was undertaken for precisely the opposite reasons, and it has had precisely the opposite effect. Let us examine the long-range impact of this operation. First, we have eliminated an immediate danger to the security of the remaining Americans in Vietnam, and thereby reduced our future casualties. Seizing these weapons and ammunition will save American lives. Because of this operation, American soldiers who might not otherwise be ever coming home will now be coming home. Second, we won some precious time for the South Vietnamese to train and prepare themselves to carry the burden of their national defense so that our American forces can be withdrawn. From General Abrams' reports and from our advisors in the field, one of the most dramatic and heartening developments of the operation has been the splendid performance of the South Vietnamese Army. 60% of all the troops involved in the Cambodian operations were South Vietnamese. The effectiveness, the skill, the valor with which they fought far exceeded our expectations. Confidence and morale in the South Vietnamese Army has been greatly bolstered. This operation has clearly demonstrated that our Vietnamization program is succeeding. And third, we have ensured the continuance and success of our troop withdrawal program. On April 20, I announced an additional 150,000 Americans would be home within a year. As a result of the success of the Cambodian operations, Secretary Laird has resumed the withdrawal of American forces from Vietnam. 50,000 of the 150,000 I announced on April 20 will now be out on October 15th. As long as the war goes on, we can expect some setbacks and some reversals. But following the success of this effort,
at a meeting Sunday,
we can say now with confidence that we will keep our timetable for troop withdrawals. Secretary Rogers and I have been particularly encouraged by the resolve of 11 Asian countries at the Jakarta conference to seek a solution to the problem of Cambodia. Cambodia offers an opportunity for these 11 Asian nations, as well as other countries of the area, to cooperate in supporting the Cambodian government's effort to maintain Cambodia's neutrality, its independence, and its territorial integrity. We shall do what we can to make it possible for these Asian initiatives to succeed. To the North Vietnamese tonight, I say again, the door to a negotiated peace remains wide open. Every offer we have made at the conference table, publicly or privately, I herewith reaffirm. We are ready to negotiate whenever they are ready to negotiate. However, if their answer to our troop withdrawal program and to our offer to negotiate is to increase their attacks in a way that jeopardizes the safety of the remaining forces in Vietnam, I shall, as my action 5 weeks ago clearly demonstrated, take strong and effective measures to deal with that situation. As all of you know, when I first announced the decision of Cambodia, it was subjected to an unprecedented barrage of criticism in this country. I want to express tonight my deep appreciation to the millions of Americans who supported me then and who have supported me since in our efforts to win a just peace. But I also understand the deep divisions in this country over the war. I realize that many Americans are deeply troubled. They want peace. They want to bring the boys home. Let us understand once and for all that no group has a monopoly on those concerns. Every American shares those desires. I share them very deeply. Our differences are over the best means to achieve a just peace. As president, I have a responsibility to listen to those in this country who disagree with my policies. But I also have a solemn obligation to make the hard decisions which I find are necessary to protect the lives of 400,000 American men remaining in Vietnam. When I spoke to you a month ago, a clear threat was emerging in Cambodia to the security of our men in Vietnam. Ask yourselves this question. If an American president had failed to meet this threat to 400,000 American men in Vietnam, would those nations and peoples who rely on America's power and treaty commitments for their security in Latin America, Europe, the Mideast, other parts of Asia, retain any confidence in the United States? That is why I deeply believe that a just peace in Vietnam is essential if there is to be a lasting peace in other parts of the world. With this announcement tonight, we have kept the pledge I made when I ordered this operation, that we would withdraw from Cambodia on a scheduled timetable, just as this administration has kept every pledge it has made to the American people regarding the war in Vietnam and the return of American troops. Let's look at the record. In June of 1969, I pledged a withdrawal of 25,000 troops. They came home. In September of the same year, I said I would bring home an additional 35,000. They came home. In December, I said an additional 50,000 Americans were coming out of Vietnam. They, too, have come home. There is one commitment yet to be fulfilled. I pledged to end this war, and I shall keep that promise. But I am determined to end the war in a way that will promote peace rather than conflict throughout the world. I am determined to end it in a way that will bring an era of reconciliation to our people and not an era of furious recrimination. In seeking peace, let us remember that at this time, only this administration can end this war and bring peace. We have a program for peace, and the greater the support the administration receives in its efforts, the greater the opportunity to win that just peace we all desire. Peace is the goal that unites us. Peace is the goal toward which we are working. And peace is the goal this government will pursue until the day we reach it. Thank you and good night.
And so President Nixon has described the Cambodian operation as the most successful of the Vietnam War. He said all major military objectives have been achieved, but the amount of enemy supplies captured just in May was equal to what had been seized in a year in South Vietnam. On the other hand, he downplayed earlier estimates that what was captured would set back the enemy 6 months or more. The president reported that 17,000 of the 31,000 American troops sent to Cambodia have left now. He made it clear, however, that U.S. air action against enemy supply and troop movements in Cambodia will continue past the end of the month, an announcement which may clash with the Senate's apparent wish that U.S. action there cease after June 30th. Significantly, he did not attempt to place any limitations on South Vietnamese action in Cambodia. The president said another 50,000 Americans will come home from Vietnam by October 15th, as promised, although that number reflects a slightly slower pace of withdrawal. You're listening to NBC News.
This is WGY in Schenectady, New York. We're set now, just about to go back to Yankee Stadium and resume the ball game. We'll bring you up to date on what happened when we left you for the president's address. It was in the bottom of the second inning. With 2 out, nobody on. Michaels bounced out second to first to end the inning. In the top of the third, Drago was up first for Kansas City. He struck out swinging. Leadoff man Kelly bounced out pitcher to first, and Hernandez bounced out short to first, a 1-2-3 inning for Kekich. In the bottom of the third inning, Kekich was up first, and he struck out swinging. Clark beat out a roller to deep second base. Jerry Kenney bounced out to first base with Clark going to second. Bobby Mercer is at the plate right now in the bottom of the third.
There's four little Yankee good kids behind home plate with Yankee helmets on. Big sign up there. Bobby Mercer sign. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The stretch, the payoff pitch, foul down the left field line, back in the seats, out of play. That one in the upper deck. Oh, it's still 3-2.
Mercer's gotten some good wood on the ball against Drago. His first time up, he hit one way back to the right field. That time he hit that one pretty well down the left field line, but he's got to be able to straighten one out.
All right. Getting a lot of mail. A lot of people were quite upset when they read about the possible trade with Bobby Mercer and Mike Epstein. And I know they're happy to hear that there was no such thing even contemplated. Ground ball, base hit to right field. They should tie it up. Clark around third. The throw to the plate, not in time. And going to second base, Bobby Mercer. The ball game is tied up 1-1. And that was a lot closer at home plate than I would like to see. What a throw. I think it was such a good throw by Pat Kelly that it surprised Ellie Rodriguez, who didn't even try to tag Horace Clark. Had Rodriguez been aware of how close that play would have been, he could have blocked the plate on Clark, and just as he would have caught the ball, Clark would have run into him. Now, whether he'd have held on to it or not, I don't know, but man, that Kelly threw that ball.
Horace didn't slide either. He just went right across home plate, and it was just like a split second before Rodriguez turned around. But it's all tied up, and on a night like this, that's a big run.
Absolutely. So Bobby Mercer comes through with a clutch single, his 22nd RBI. Roy White takes a pitch high, ball 1. And Bobby, with good heads-up base running, is down at second. I tell you, that Kelly has got some arm. But that ball was hit on the ground, and it was wet, and the grass floated up, and he still, on Horace Clark, one of the Yankees' fastest runners, made it close. Outside, ball 2, 2-0.
What you said about the track being slow, I think was true there. I was watching Horace, and he was sort of pigeon-toeing it around third base.
Right, you know, I watched him, too, and he kind of slowed up, afraid he might slip or something. All right, we'll watch Bobby Mercer now at second. 2-0 the count on White. Curve in there, 2-1. A good change-up curveball. 2 men are out. It's all tied, 1-1. On deck, Danny Cater. Roy White, switch hitter, batting left. Stretch by Drago. Curve low this time, 3-1, and now he's using the same pattern he used on Bobby Mercer. Off-speed breaking pitches. But then when he came in with the fastball to Bobby drilled it to right field to drive in Clark. 3-1 the count on Roy White. Let's see if he comes in with that fastball as he did to Mercer. Here's the pitch. He does, and a base hit to right field. Kelly's up with this one. Mercer's coming in to score the throw. Not in time, and a great throw again. But White held at first this time, and the Yankees lead 2-1. Boy, that Kelly's got some kind of an arm, I tell you. He has thrown 2 strikes to the plate. That time Mercer came around third a little better than Horace Clark, but Roy White stayed at first base.
Not only that, but he gets rid of the ball very fast. He knows soon to pick that ball up. It was all in one motion, and the ball was on its way to home plate. He had to run over towards the line to get that one. So actually, he had no real good shot at Mercer. He threw it as well as he could, and he still couldn't get him.
And he did. Here's Danny Cater. So Roy White gets his first hit of the series, and a big one for White, his 62nd hit of the year, tying him with Danny Cater for the lead in that department. Danny gets away from an inside fastball, ball 1. Cater bounced to short his first time up.
The stands now, Phil, this also changes what is a complete game in the rain. Now with the home team ahead, you only have to play 4.5 innings.
All right, and the rain is starting again. It had stopped completely there for a while. Stretch by Drago. White leads away. Pitch to Cater. Swing and a miss. 1-1. 2 men out. And the Yankees picked up 2 clutch base hits with 2 outs. One by Mercer driving in Clark, and one by White driving in Bobby Mercer. On deck, Kurt Bluffery. And the rain is coming down hard again. Drago sets. Fastball, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, a lot of fans might say, why don't the Yankees make out, get out there and get the 4.5 innings in? We saw that happen down in Washington. Phil Ortega was pitching. He had about a 6-run lead, a 6 or 7-run lead. And he was just trying to lob the ball over and get the side out. A slow bounce to third. If it stays fair, it's a base hit. It kicks foul. So Cater will have to come back. And before Ortega could get back in his rhythm, the Yankees had tied the score, went on to win the game. And Washington was making out as quickly as they could. Oh, boy, that is embarrassing.
Ralph Howe still says one of the toughest losses he ever suffered as the Yankee manager was the game up in Boston that Stottlemyre was pitching in the rain. The Yankees had led, but in that case, the umpires just wouldn't call it, and it would rain and stop, and eventually the Yankees blew a big lead in that ball game. It was an 8-run lead, Sandy Alpha tells me.
Oh, I remember that very well. Oh. All right, it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Danny Cater, 2 outs. White at first. The Yankees lead 2-1. Now the rain has let up a little bit. It's going to be one of those nights. Roy White leads off first. Drago sets. His pitch is foul down the right field line, out of play. An RBI for White ties him with Cater now. They each have 36 RBIs, and they each have 62 base hits. Statistically very, very close in just about all departments. Pitch, ground ball, hit hard. The shortstop up with it. Hernandez throws to Severson for the force play. They get Danny Cater, but the Yankees pick up 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and a man left. And at the end of 3 full innings, it's the Yankees 2 and Kansas City 1. Quick look at the scoreboard. Washington with 4 runs in the bottom of the 4th lead. The White Sox 4-3 at the end of 5. John against Coleman. Baltimore at Oakland. Later on, Minnesota at Boston. Postponed rain. Cleveland at Milwaukee. The Indians scored 3 in the top of the 1st. Milwaukee batting. Hand against Krause. Duke Sims got his 8th of the year in the 1st with 2 on. Detroit at California later on. And the National League, the Mets at Atlanta, postponed rain, as was San Diego at Pittsburgh. At the end of 2.5, it's Cincinnati 2 and the Phillies 2, bunting against Nolan. Taylor and Doyle have homered in that game. Montreal, nothing. Houston, nothing into 2.5. Baylor Moore against Billingham. In 11 innings, the Cubs beat the Dodgers 6-5. Aguirre the winner and Pena the loser. The Giants scored 3 in the top of the 1st. Cardinals batting. Robertson against Gibson. And those are the only games scheduled. Here it's 2-1 in favor of the Yankees. We get ready for the top of the 4th and all set to carry you along. Bob Gamere.
Thank you, Phil. And Amos Otis, who has accounted for the 1 Royal run so far in this ball game, will be stepping up. And with that home run in the 1st inning, he now has an 8-game hitting streak. He's also had 12 hits in his last 29 at-bats, and that's better than a .400 average. So Amos Otis, the former Met, stepping in, and what a year he's been having. We mentioned earlier Bob Johnson, the other element in that trade, for Joe Foy. Pitched a fine game last night, but was beaten by Fritz Peterson 3-2. So Amos Otis steps in. The Yankees lead 2-1 among the raindrops here at Yankee Stadium. Amos Otis, the batter. The windup by Mike Kekich. He delivers. Swinging a ground ball. A comebacker to the mound. Kekich has it. The throw to Cater in time, and there's 1 out. He tattooed it, but right back at the box, and there's 1 out here in the top half of the 4th inning. Yankees rallying with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd to take a 2-1 lead. And coming in to join us now is Frank Mercer. Frank's been stepping between the raindrops. And right now it's raining pretty hard again here at Yankee Stadium. We had 1 downpour in which we had a 20-minute delay. And now it's been on and off, intermittent rain. The windup. And the pitch to Oliver. High and outside for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Yankees lead it 2-1. The windup by Kekich. He kicks, delivers fastball, line drive, base hit to center field. Bobby Mercer fields it on the grass. Picks it up barehanded, throws on into Horace Clark at second. The base hit for Bob Oliver. Frank, we've had a wet night. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Bob. It is one of those nights. Rain is coming down a little bit harder now. It seems like there's just a series of little squalls passing through the area. It'll let up, and then it'll come down, then it lets up.
Right now, it's raining hard enough that every time someone hits it on the ground, they've been throwing in a new baseball. And Kekich has to pitch now to Lou Pinella. Pinella struck out his first time up. The road team is always on a disadvantage at a night like this. The stretch and the pitch. Fastball hit on the line in between first and second in the right field for a base hit. Oliver is flying around second, heading for third. The ball dies in the grass. Bluffery picks it up and runs it into the infield. And now Oliver fakes down the line towards home plate, goes back, and Bluffery runs it all the way in, which is the play in that situation. So runners now on first and third with 1 out, and the Royals have a chance to get even here in the top half of the 4th inning. It is raining as hard now as it has at any time since that 20-minute shower that we had earlier.
I have a feeling that it keeps on this hard much longer. They'll have to call time again.
4.5 innings would have to be completed. The losing team has to bat in the 5th inning. Let's put it that way. Right now it would be 4.5 innings with the Yankees lead 2-1. For the Royals with a chance to score, Keogh the batter, 2 on and 1 out. The stretch by Kekich, the pitch. Keogh takes a curve ball high for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Keogh came into this ball game batting .324, bounced out to shortstop, first time out. As the stretch by Kekich checks both runners, the pitch to the plate, slow curve, caught the inside corner, strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Yankees lead it 2-1. But Oliver is on third. Pinella is on first, and 1 out, top of the 4th inning. Mike Kekich, a winner in his last outing at Minnesota. And now time is called, and Keogh leaves home plate, and he's going to get the rosin bag. And with that, on Yankee baseball, we pause for station identification.
The Yankees at home and away on WGY, Schenectady.
Joe Keogh taking a few practice swings. Kekich on the mound. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Kekich checks Oliver and Pinella. Oliver off third, Pinella off first. The 1-1 pitch, fastball down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kekich has yet to walk a man. He has struck out 4, 2 of those strikeouts in the first inning. Given up 4 hits, 1 a home run in the first inning by Amos Otis. Otis is the 1 out here in the 4th. Runners on first and third. The 2-1 stretch. Kekich kicks. The pitch, slow curve, a little bit low, and it's 3-1. So Mike now is 1 pitch away from walking. The base is loaded. Rich Stevenson is on deck, and he got a base hit in the 2nd inning. 3 balls, 1 strike. Yankees lead 2-1. Top half of the 4th inning here at the stadium. All right, Kekich has the sign, goes to the stretch. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here it comes, there it goes. Line drive out over second. It's in there for a base hit. Oliver scores the tying run. Pinella goes to second, makes the turn. Bluffery throws behind him in the second base. The ball gets away. Rolling out to shortstop. Gene Michael goes back and gets it. So 3 base hits in a row for the Kansas City Royals, and we have a brand new ball game. It's all tied up at 2-2 here on the top of the 4th inning. And the Royals have runners on first and second, and still 1 out. That one was a looping liner. Horace Clark went back, but he had no chance for it. So it's all tied up, and now Pinella goes to second. Joe Keogh goes to first. And Rich Stevenson will be the batter. Kekich now toying with the rosin bag. Gets back on the mound. It's been a steady rain here for the past couple of innings. Runners on first and second. Yankees in double play depth. 1 out. Kekich goes to the stretch. pitching to the number 7 man, Stevenson, who swings as a high pop-up in foul territory. Munson and Cater coming over. And who's going to get it? Nobody. Ball hits right between them in front of the Yankee dugout. In fairness to both men, it's very wet over there, right in front of the dugout. And it wasn't hit that high in the first place.
That's right. Both Munson and Cater were going after it, and that mud, the running track right in the front of the dugout, has got to be a very, very treacherous place. You can't take that last step as you would on a dry evening or a dry day.
No errors charged. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for both ball clubs. Top half of the 4th inning, and it's tied up at 2-2. So Stevenson has a life. 0-1 the count. Ellie Rodriguez, the number 8 hitter, is on deck. No balls, 1 strike. Kekich to the belt. Stretches, lets it fly. It's a little pop down the right field line. The ball curving, going foul, and back into the seat. So Stevenson has hit 2 pop-ups, both foul. One landed on the playing field and the other one out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. It's a 2-2 ball game. Kansas City with a run in the first. The Yankees with 2 in the third. Now Kansas City has tied it up in the top of the 4th. There's the stretch. No balls, 2 strikes. Kekich delivers. Curveball just misses inside, and it's 1-2. That one had a huge drop on it. Both Kekich and Drago have shown good stuff here tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. And of course, both pitchers had to sit down for 20 minutes during the rain delay. All right, Kekich working quickly now. Goes to the belt. Mike kick. Pitch. Curveball. Hits on home plate. Nice block by Munson, and it's 2-2. That ball bounced right on home plate. Munson made a nice play on it. Right now, umpire George Maloney wants to have a look at it, and he throws it back to Kekich. 2-2 the count with 1 out. Pinella and Keogh, the base runners, at first and second. Pinella's the lead man off second. 2-2 the count. Kekich goes to the belt. Mike kicks. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. So he had Stevenson 0-2 on those 2 foul balls, and now the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mike's had a little bit too much stuff on his fastball and on his curve. 3-2. Here's the stretch. Checks the runners. The pitch. Fastball popped up behind first base. Cater going back. He's in foul territory. He's under it, and he makes the catch for the out. So he got Stevenson on the 3-2 pitch to pop out to Danny Cater, the first baseman. And there are 2 out. Here's Ellie Rodriguez, batting .268, and he popped out to Gene Michael, the shortstop. Rodriguez, the number 8 man in the batting order. Dick Drago, the pitcher, is on deck. Rodriguez, right-handed batter. 2 outs and 2 on. Top of the 4th, the tie game at 2-2. And the rain is just about let up once again here at Yankee Stadium.
Each time it lets up like this, I hope we've seen the end of it.
That's right. There's the stretch. The pitch. Rodriguez takes the curveball in there for the call. Strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. That was a beauty that Mike broke off. Of course, when his curve is coming over the plate, he's much more effective. Otherwise, they let the curve go and just wait for that fastball. That curve broke in and over. No balls and 1 strike. Kekich now goes to the belt. Checks Pinella off second. Keogh off first. The pitch. Curveball bounces in front of the plate, and Munson knocks it down. It's 1-1. Thrown very few fastballs here with the men on base. 1-1 to Rodriguez. Rodriguez with 1 home run and 6 RBIs on the season. Coming into this game, he had 13 hits and 34 at-bats in his last 10 games. So he's now had 13 hits and 35 at-bats. Ball 1 out. Mike Kekich goes to the belt. Tie game. He delivers slow curve, hangs high, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. So Kekich has worked and worked hard here in the top of the 4th. 3 base hits in a row have tied the game at 2-2. Pinella and Keogh on the bases right now. Mike Kekich has the sign for Munson. 2-1. Kekich kicks, delivers, curveball, hit hard, past shortstop, out in the center field for a base hit. Pinella coming around third. Mercer up with the ball. Mercer's throw to the plate is cut off. Throw to third. He is out at third, and the run does count. The run scored. They might have had a play at home plate that time. It would have been very close. Cater cut the throw off and made the play at third base. Umpire George Maloney says the run scored before the out at third base. So the Royals take the lead with 2 runs on 4 hits. There were no Yankee errors, and 1 man is left on at the end of 3 1/2. The Royals 3 and the Yankees 2.
The Arctic tundra, 12 inches of vegetation covering frozen ground 1,000 feet deep. When Atlantic Richfield Company discovered oil on Alaska's North Slope, the place we call the Arco Circle, we found out if you disturb the tundra, you cause erosion. A tire track can cause a 50-foot gorge. We stopped driving our trucks across it and started experiments with 13 different kinds of grass seed, so that if erosion occurred, we'd be ready. The seeding has to be done by hand. The fertilizing has to be done by helicopters, and the grasses will have to be incredibly hardy to make it. But if they do, there will be a way to protect the delicate tundra forever. At Atlantic Richfield Company, we're doing this because we believe drilling for oil and conservation go together. We went all the way to Alaska to drill for oil, so we can provide your local Atlantic dealer with the finest Arco petroleum products for your car.
Well, right now, before Drago begins his warm-up throws, the grounds crew's out under the supervision of the umpires, scattering some dry sand down on the pitcher's mound, which has become just a little bit slippery and heavy out there. Now the umpires wave over to the dugout and tell Drago he can come out and start warming up. I don't know what Dick Drago does there in the dugout, but it seems, Bob, to take him a long time to come out. Of course, now they were working on the mound. He couldn't be out there throwing, but it seems to take him a long time to come out after every half inning. Our ball game tied, is in favor of Kansas City 3-2. Kansas City went out in front 1-0. The Yankees took the lead 2-1, and then Kansas City just scored 2 in the top of the 4th for a 3-2 lead. These 2 clubs meet here at the stadium again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, the wind-up game of this 3-game series. Stan Bonson, the Yankee right-hander who has won 3 and lost 4, is scheduled to pitch for the New York Yankees. And it will be Jim Rooker on the mound for the Kansas City Royals tomorrow night. Taking a look at Jim Rooker's record, he has won 3 and lost 2. Front 1-0. The Yankees took the lead 2-1, and then Kansas City just scored 2 in the top of the 4th for a 3-2 lead. These 2 clubs meet here at the stadium again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, the wind-up game of this 3-game series. Stan Bonson, the Yankee right-hander who has won 3 and lost 4, is scheduled to pitch for the New York Yankees. And it will be Jim Rooker on the mound for the Kansas City Royals tomorrow night. Taking a look at Jim Rooker's record, he has won 3 and lost 2. He's a pretty good hitter in his own right. In fact, he has the team high for runs batted in a ball game. Rooker has knocked in 5 runs in a ball game already this year. I believe the American League record for the year for RBIs in a single game is 7, if I haven't missed something along the line somewhere. We'll double check on that, but I believe it's 7. But Rooker, I'd tell you, that's pretty good night's work for a pitcher. 5 runs batted in, isn't it?
I guess it is, Frank. And right now, Kurt Bluffery will be the batter for the Yankees. Hit the ball on the nose his first time, but Severson made a nice one-hop play at second base and threw Kurt out. Bluffery, the batter. It's 3-2 Kansas City. Bottom half of the 4th, the first pitch to Kurt is a curve low and inside for ball 1. Well, the New Jersey papers played up Kurt Bluffery's home run. Bluffery brought up in New Jersey and lives there now. The Record had a big headline, "Is the real Mr. Bluffery finally standing up?" Here's the windup. The pitch to Kurt on the inside corner for the called strike, and it's 1-1. And the Herald News over in New Jersey had a big headline, "Bluffery's first homer, the big blow, and the Yankees win." And that it was last night as the Yankees won it 3-2. Here's the pitch. Curveball bounced foul outside of first, and the count is now 1-2. Tonight the score again is 3-2, but this time the Royals have the lead. They pounded out 4 base hits at the top of the fourth. Rain now has stopped at Yankee Stadium. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Royals 3, the Yankees 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes from the leadoff batter, Kurt Bluffery. Dick Drago winds and delivers slow curve. Bluffery reaches for it and fouls it off into the lower deck. He just hit that as an afterthought. 1-2 is the count, and that slow curve looks as if it may sneak over that outside corner for the strikeout. So Bluffery just leaned out and got a piece of it. It was a big piece, actually, because it keeps him alive. Here's the windup. The pitch, fastball, rocked on the ground. Fair ball down the right field line. Bluffery round first, heads for her now. He holds up. He remembers the arm that Kelly has. And it's a base hit for Kurt Bluffery. That ball right over the bag at first base, and Jim Honeychek gave it the fair sign. Keogh just couldn't reach it. The ball wound up way in foul territory and bounced out back on the playing field, but Kelly was playing him over to the line and made a nice play.
Actually now, Bob, Kurt Bluffery, the last 5 balls he has hit have been well hit. He lined out twice last night. One was a sacrifice fly, but both times he made out in the game were line drives to the center fielder over in the alley in right center. He was hit by a pitch, then homered. Tonight, his first time up, that one hopper that he was thrown out on by Severson was well hit, and this one was a real scorcher down the line. So Bluffery is getting that bat around in front of the pitch more and more every day.
Well, he likes to pull it, and you couldn't pull it anymore right over first base. Here's Thurman Munson, who was called out his first time up. Curveball, and he has to get out of the way of ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. It didn't have the curve on it that it looked coming up there. And Munson at the last minute just jumped right out of the way. 1 ball and no strikes. Drago had Munson fish for an outside curveball his last time, and then he struck him out with a pitch down the middle. So let's see if Thurman has learned something. Fastball, he swings, pops it up behind first base. Keogh going back on the foul line, in foul territory, makes the catch. 1 out. So 1 out for the Yankees. They're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Tying run still on first base as Gene Michael steps in. Michael brought a .235 batting average into the ball game. Grounded out to first baseman Keogh his first time up. Bluffery on first with 1 out. Bottom of the fourth inning, and Kansas City leading it 3-2 here at the stadium. Dick Drago over the head to the belt. The pitch, fastball, strike 1 it's called. No balls at 1 strike. Drago's been mixing up his pitches and mixing them up well. The curveball, the change, and the fastball. And he's been getting them over. He hasn't walked anyone. Yankees have had 6 hits. They trail 3-2 now. Bottom half of the fourth inning, Drago to the belt. Bluffery with a short lead. The pitch, fastball, strike 2. Gave him the same pitch right back. No balls and 2 strikes.
I'd have to say, Bob, the way Drago is pitching tonight, it would be awfully hard to guess what's coming up there. Sometimes he'll throw 2 or 3 curveballs in a row. He'll come back with a fastball 2 or 3 times in a row. Sometimes he'll go 1, 2, 3 with the curve, the change, and the fastball.
He's been tough. There's the fastball again, and it's inside 1-2. He tried to surprise Michael with 3 fastballs. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gene. Mike Kekich is in the on-deck circle for the Yankees. Royals gave the Yankees a tussle last year. The Yankees won 7 and lost 5 to the expansion team. Drago to the belt. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit in the F foul. Third base side into the upper deck, out of play. And the count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the Royals are one of only 3 teams in Major League Baseball that have not been shut out this year. Kansas City, Minnesota, and in the National League, the Cincinnati Reds. 1-2 the count on Gene Michael. Drago over the head to the belt. Curveball misses outside, and it's 2-2. So now Michael making him work, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bluffery, who led off the inning with a base hit to right field, is on first. 1 out. Gene Michael batting, and Kansas City leading 3-2. Drago now brings it to the belt. The pitch to Michael. Swing and a foul ball back behind home plate. It hits the bottom of the screen, and the holds are 2 balls and 2 strikes. Michael cut it that one at the last minute and just got a piece of it. 2-2 the count. Michael last night celebrated his 32nd birthday and had a big cake in the clubhouse for both Gene and Horace Clark after the ball game. Everybody in the festive mood after the Yankee victory. Drago over the head to the belt. Pitches to Gene. Curveball hit in the air into short center field. Coming on is Amos Otis. Now he reaches up and makes the catch. Otis had to reach way up over his head finally to catch that ball. Michael hit it well, but a little too high in one respect and not high enough in another. 2 out. Line drive to Amos Otis, and here's Mike Kekich, the Yankee pitcher. Kekich struck out his first time up. Mike has had 2 base hits this year. He's 2 for 10, batting .200. Kekich actually has the 2nd highest batting average among the Yankee pitchers, the number 1 man being Fritz Peterson. The stretch by Drago. Fastball, strike 1. Put it right down the middle. No balls and 1 strike. So Bluffery, who led off the inning with a base hit, is still over there at first base. 0-1 the count on Kekich. The stretch. The pitch. Fastball. He reaches out at the line drive in the right field. It's in there for a base hit. Kelly up with the ball. Throws on in. It's cut off by the shortstop Hernandez. And Mike Kekich gets a base hit. So the Yankees get 2 base hits. Around 2 outs. And Horace Clark, who's 2 for 2, steps up. Now time is called, and Ellie Rodriguez, the catcher, goes out there to speak to Dick Drago. Kekich just reached for that one, got a good piece of it, and lined it in the right field for a base hit. Bluffery held at second. So the Yankees now with runners on first and second and 2 outs, and trailing 3-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Now had 13 base hits in this ball game in 4 innings. Only 1 has been for extra bases, and that was the home run by Amos Otis. All right, Drago set to go to Horace Clark. He's 2 for 2, batting left-handed. The pitch to Horace. Swings, ground ball, hits the second base. Stevenson up with it. Throw to first, in time, and the side's retired. So for the Yankees in the 4th, no runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left. At the end of 4, it's Kansas City 3 and New York 2.
Did you ever know a girl that you know and have her show up in a wig and not recognize her? Well, here's a story just like that. Some people have received new credit cards and failed to recognize them. Now, this is quite understandable. The big name on the card, and incidentally, it is a handsome card, but the big name is Arco, A-R-C-O. They didn't realize that this new Arco card was a replacement for their old Atlantic credit card. After Richfield and Atlantic merged to become the Atlantic Richfield Company, it made sense to have one national credit card good at thousands of service stations from coast to coast. Makes it easy for everyone, including the people at Hertz, Ramada, and Treadway Inns, Hyatt House Hotels, Hyatt Lodges, Travelodge Motels, Friendship Inns, Emmons Walker Inns Incorporated, and Superior Motels. They all honor this new card. Now they have only one name to remember, and so do you, Arco. It stands for all the good products and services you get at your Atlantic station.
Well, in case you didn't get the late scores last night, the California Angels defeated Detroit 3-2. That game went 10 innings at Anaheim. And Baltimore came up with a 5-1 win over the Oakland A's in 2 ball games played late on the West Coast. And not in a lot of the morning papers today. I noticed, Bob, that Baltimore now has moved Merv Rettenmund into center field to replace the injured Paul Blair, and Rettenmund responded with a base hit and 2 runs batted in last night's ball game. And as we've said so many times, the strength of that Baltimore bench is being called on now, and at least last night, Rettenmund came through, and he's going to have an opportunity to play for a while.
They had a close call last night. Frank Robinson crashed into the fence in the 8th inning. But fortunately for the Orioles, and I guess for all baseball, Frank Robinson was all right and was able to remain in the ball game. Here's Dick Drago as we start the top half of the fifth inning. Drago's been up 18 times, and he only has one hit so far this year. Right-handed batter against the lefty Mike Kekich. 3-2, Kansas City leading as we go to the top half of the fifth inning. Kekich into the windup. His first pitch of the fifth inning, a fastball low and outside for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Drago, a rookie last year. 11 wins, 13 losses with the expansion team. The delivery on the outside corner, right back with the fastball, and it's 1-1. So Kekich just got a base hit off Drago, and Dick now trying to return the compliment. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kekich gets the sign from Thurman Munson, goes into the windup, kicks and delivers. High for ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Drago won his first ball game in the major leagues. He went the route to defeat the California Angels in May of last year by a score of 3-2. And went on to become a fine pitcher for the Royals. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kekich throws, curve in there, and it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Drago. Pat Kelly, the top of the order on deck. The Royals leading at 3-2, top of the fifth. The kick, the Kekich pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. So that's 5 strikeouts for Mike Kekich, but it's the first one since he struck out Drago back in the third inning. 1 out, and here's Pat Kelly. Kelly has bounced to first and bounced to the mound. And Kelly, as we mentioned earlier, a good man to keep off the base paths because he's tied for second in the American League with stolen bases. Actually, he's now has a share of the league lead. He gets a ground ball out to Horace Clark. Clark gets it. Throw to first in time, and there are 2 out. Kelly has 20 stolen bases, and he's even with Tommy Hoffa, and 1 behind the major league leader. That's Bobby Bonds. With 2 outs, Jackie Hernandez steps in. Struck out of the first inning, hit to shortstop in the third. Three to 2, the Royals lead it in the top of the fifth. The windup by Kekich and the pitch, low for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. The end of this inning, it'll be an official ball game, or should the Yankees take the lead at any time in the bottom of the fifth, it would be official. Right now, however, it is not raining here at the stadium. 1-0 the count. Kekich into the windup. He delivers a curve that hangs high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Still a very warm and sticky night. The rain hasn't cooled things off much. 2 balls and no strikes. It's been a seesaw game. 1-0 Kansas City, 2-1 Yankees, now 3-2 Kansas City. The windup, the 2-0 pitch, right in there for called strike 1, 2-1. Oh, I see the Fordham University class of 1970 is on hand. We just put it up on the scoreboard, and cheer went up. 2-1 the count. Kekich kicks. Turns it loose. A high pop foul is hit into the upper deck by Jackie Hernandez. And it's even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. All the fans downstairs looking up, hoping the ball would come out of the upper deck. That time it didn't, but it's always a good idea to turn around if that ball's hit over your head. You never know when they're going to come back. 2-2 the count. The windup. The pitch to Hernandez. Fastball foul to the screen, and the count's even at 2-2. Amos Otis is on deck. 3-2 the Royals. Yankees in the bottom half of the fifth inning will have Jerry Kenney, Bobby Mercer, and Roy White. And they did the damage in the third inning when the Yankees took the lead. The pitch, a swing and a drive, hit deep to right center field. Bobby Mercer running for it. Over in right center, under it, and he makes the catch. So 3 up and 3 down for the Royals at the top of the fifth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We go to the bottom half of the fifth inning. It's Kansas City 3 and New York 2.
Last year, the Catskill Game Farm gave away thousands of beautiful wildlife pictures by Michael Kiefer, the famous animal painter. Once again, lovely reproductions will be given away free for the first 2 weeks in June with each adult admission ticket to the Game Farm. The artist, Mr. Kiefer, spends a considerable amount of time traveling to various parts of the world to study animals in their natural habitat. You may like a picture of our American black bear fishing in a mountain stream, or perhaps a scene of a real Indian tiger hunt. If you would like to receive free a fine reproduction on heavy art paper or genuine artist canvas, visit the Catskill Game Farm during the first 2 weeks in June. This offer is limited till June 15th with the purchase of each adult admission ticket. Don't miss it. The Game Farm is located 2 miles off Route 32, south of Cairo.
Talking about the picture postcards to be given away by the Yankees, I believe the entire set will be 12. And the first one to be obtained will be this Saturday afternoon when the Yankees play the White Sox, and that will be the Bobby Mercer card. Well, we're talking about youngsters coming out to the ballpark. I see the Tenafly New Jersey Little League is here tonight. Join this ball game along with the Fordham University class of 1970. Last night we had the Seton Hall championship baseball team out here enjoying the Yankee game. And throughout the season, there'll be many more folks coming out here in groups, both the young fans, the Little League age, and also the university age fans.
Hope to see a lot of those college kids here on Pepsi Generation Night, Friday night, too. A box seat for yourself for $4 and get a free one for your date. Jerry Kenny, the batter. Drago delivers a curve in the inside corner, strike one. Jerry's been a tough man on the Kansas City Royals in this series. Had 2 hits, a sacrifice fly, and a walk last night. Tonight he's got a single and a ground out. 0-1 the count. Jerry steps out. He wants to wipe a little of the moisture off his bat and step back in. It's not raining right now at the stadium. Bottom of the 5th. 3-2 Kansas City. Drago into the windup the pitch. Kenny takes it inside with the curve, and it's 1-1. Gave him the same pitch, that one a little bit further inside than the other one. Jerry's been slowly bringing his average up, hitting at 212 coming in. He's 1 for 2 in this game, so that'll bring it up a little more. 1-1 the count. The windup, the pitch, high with the fastball. It's 2-1. Drago's had excellent control. He has yet to walk a man in this ball game. 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Jerry Kenny, leading off in the bottom of the 5th. Drago into the windup. The pitch, fastball hit on the ground to second baseman Stevenson. He's up with it, throws to first in time, and there's 1 out. So Kenny makes out to start the bottom half of the 5th inning. Drago this year has given up 30 bases on balls and has struck out 38, but in tonight's ball game, he has not given up a freebie yet. Here's Bobby Mercer. Mercer struck out in the 1st inning, and then with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, he singles to tie up the ball game at 1-1. Scored Horace Clark, and then Roy White followed with a single to put the Yankees into the lead. The pitch to Mercer, swing and a long drive to right center field. This one is hit. Kelly going back, all through the center field. A Kelly back leap, and he can't get it. It's off the scoreboard. It takes a big bounce back towards the infield. Mercer on his way to 3rd. Here's the throw to 3rd. He's in with a stand-up triple. Bobby Mercer hit it off the top of the auxiliary scoreboard in right field. Kelly leaped way in the air and didn't come down with it. The ball hit the top of the scoreboard and ricocheted way back towards the infield, and Bobby Mercer gets a triple out of it. Had the ball hit the top of that scoreboard and bounced into the bleachers, it would have only been a double. But it stayed in the playing field, and Mercer gets a triple. On Yankee Baseball, we pause for station identification.
The Yankees at home and away on WGY, Schenectady.
Roy White now with a chance to tie it up. The infield is in. The stretch, the pitch to Roy outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. I want to tell you that ball was tickled. And right now, Eddie Layton on the organ playing a little music to get the fans going. All these Yankee games have been tight, home and on the road. We've got another 1-runner here. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 2, and George Maloney started to go up with that right hand and thought better of it. Just missed the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes to Roy White. Bobby Mercer on 3rd. Had the wind been blowing the way it was earlier tonight out towards right field before that thunderstorm, that would have been long gone. 2-0 to Roy White. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Swinging a line drive. It's hooking and it goes foul down the right field line into the seats. 2 balls with 1 strike. The infield is playing in. Third baseman Oliver, shortstop Hernandez, right now over kicking the bag at second, trying to get some mud out of his own cleats. Second baseman Stevenson is in. First baseman Keogh. Outfield Pinella playing straight away in left field. Amos Otis in center field is playing around to right. And the right fielder Leroy Kelly, rather Pat Kelly, is playing deep and straight away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Roy White now, who can really handle that bat, would look to punch one right through the drawn-in infield. He already has an RBI in this ball game. White with 36. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul tip. 2-2. So Drago is 1 strike away from a big strikeout here. Of course, with a runner on third and 1 out, you can get him in a variety of ways. With 2 outs, it normally would take a base hit.
Going to be some activity out in the Royals bullpen. Al Fitzmaurice is one of them. I thought I saw Dave Moorhead go back there, but he may not be warming up. He's been in the starting rotation of late.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Drago to the stretch. Here's the pitch. Roy White swings, line drive, hit out in the left center field, and it's in there for a base hit. Mercer comes on to score. Pinella dives, misses the ball. Center fielder Otis picks it up. Throw to second. White is in standing. And it's all tied up at 3-3 here in Yankee Stadium. And it scored a 2-base hit for Roy White. Pinella tried to cut it off. He slipped on the turf out there, and the ball got by him. Amos Otis was backing it up. So it's tied up at 3-3. And here's Danny Cater. For Roy White now, that gives him 37 RBIs. That's 2 in this game. Danny Cater, who is up there, has 36 RBIs. So White now is 1 ahead of Cater, and they're both among the American League leaders. Cater with a chance to pick up an RBI here. White off to second base. Drago to the stretch, the pitch. Cater swings, foul ball back on the screen, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. It's 3-3 in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Cater at bat. This ball game is now an official ball game. 3-3 the score in the bottom of the 5th. Drago to the stretch, the pitch. Curveball hit a long way to left field. Hit way back in the left field. This one is high, far and gone. Danny Cater has hit his 4th home run of the season, and he now has 38 RBIs. So Roy White grabbed the RBI lead with his double over Danny Cater by 1, and Cater gets it right back, and Roy White doesn't mind a bit because the Yankees lead it by a score of 5-3, and we may be having a pitching change right here for the Kansas City Royals.
Could very well be because Charlie Metro is out there at the mound. We'll see whether or not he has made the motion toward the bullpen. Evidently he has. Yes, they will make a pitching change. Danny Cater now has 4 home runs for the year and 38 runs batted in. Looking back over Danny's record, he's been one of the fine hitters for average in the American League for, well, ever since he's been here, ever since he came to the American League after spending the 1964 season with the Philadelphia Phillies. In 1965, Cater hit 14 home runs, his highest in the majors, drove in 55 runs. The next year, he hit 7 homers, had 56 RBIs. In 67, with the Kansas City A's, he hit 4 home runs, had 46 RBIs. In 1968, he had 6 home runs, 62 runs batted in. Last year, 10 homers and 76 RBIs. So Danny Cater is ahead, really, of his home run and RBI production at this stage of any season since he has been in the American League. The pitcher coming in is left-hander Tom Bergmeyer, who was recalled from Omaha on May 19th. At Omaha, he had won 3 and lost 1, had 2 saves, and a splendid earned run average of 1.17. So the left-hander Tom Bergmeyer will come on to pitch to Kurt Bluffery. Dick Drago goes 4 1/3 innings. Drago gives up 5 runs on 10 hits. He walked nobody, and he collected 3 strikeouts. Actually, Drago was in trouble in every inning except the second. In the first inning, the first 2 Yankees, Clark and Kenny, had base hits, but he bore down to strike out Mercer, got White on a fly ball to center, and Cater grounded into a force out. He got the side 1, 2, 3 in the second, facing Bluffery, Munson, and Michael. In the third, the Yankees scored 2 runs on 3 hits, and here in the fifth, they've taken the lead.
Kurt Bluffery, the batter, swings and grounds one foul outside of first base, strike 1. That ball was just a hair to the right of where Kurt got his base hit his last time up. That one, however, was ruled fair, and this one ruled foul, so Bluffery will try again. Kurt's batting against the left-hander. First time up, he hit a rocket to second base, and the next time up, he got a single. So the Yankees, with 1 out here in the fifth, have had a triple, a double, and a home run, and they've all been hit. Mercer hit it a mile off the auxiliary scoreboard in right field. White hit a line drive to left center, and Cato walloped it into the left field seat. Bluffery swings and fouls it back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes.
This being called up, Bergmeyer has pitched 7 innings in 4 ball games, winning 1, losing 1. He has a rather high earned run average of 5.14.
Yankees are ahead 5-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. The windup and the pitch. Bluffery takes a curve, low and outside for ball 1. So Danny Cater, and see you later. That one was hit close to 400 feet. It was to the left as we look out on the 402-foot sign, but it was back about 5 or 6 rows. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Sidearm curve, strike 3 swinging. So Bluffery strikes out against the left-hander for the second out here in the 5th inning. But in between outs, a triple, a double, and a home run. Here's Thurman Munson. That's some of that power that the middle part of the Yankee lineup has been showing this year that it failed to show in previous seasons. Bronx Bombers 5 and Kansas City 3 in the bottom of the 5th. Thurman Munson steps in. He was called out on strikes in the 2nd inning. Popped out to first in the 4th inning. Come on out and see some action tomorrow night. Yankees and the Royals. And the White Sox, who have been hitting the ball, will be in here Friday night. The windup, the pitch. Munson takes low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. So Drago gave up 5 runs on 10 hits. And he worked 4 1/3 innings. The windup, the pitch to Munson. He checks the swing, takes it in the outside corner, just above the knees. It's 1-1. A seesaw ball game. Lead now has changed hands 3 times. Kansas City led 1-0, and the Yankees 2-1. Kansas City 3-2. And now the Yankees 5-3. The windup in the 1-1 pitch. Curve low and inside, 2-1. 2-1 to Thurman Munson. He came in hitting .257. In this game, he was called out on strikes, and he popped out to first. Munson had his troubles with Drago. Now he's up there against Bergmeyer. Tom Bergmeyer, little left-hander, winds, delivers fastball, bounced out in front of the plate. Bergmeyer off the mound, picks it up, wheels. The throw to first, got him, and the side retires. Thurman Munson out by a step going down the line, but the Yankees get 3 runs on 3 extra base hits. No errors, nobody left. At the end of 5, it's New York 5 and Kansas City 3.
Schenectady Trust is the place to say.
Hurry up, Charlie. I want to take
because they pay new, higher interest rates.
Charlie, practice your announcing later.
And a choice of several savings plans.
Charlie!
Take savings certificates.
Charlie!
For as little as $500, these certificates guarantee an annual interest from day of deposit.
Thanks. It's so steamy in here.
2-year certificates pay 5 3/4% per year. 1-year certificates pay 5.5% per year. And 90-day certificates pay 5% per year.
Speaking of saving, you used all the shampoo.
Your dollars earn more when you save at Schenectady Trust.
Charlie, where's the soap?
Come to Schenectady Trust. You'll find every banking service you'll ever need. Member of FDIC.
Oh, there's the soap. Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome.
You know, we're talking about Bat Day coming up this Sunday here at Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees want to be sure that every youngster is completely happy. That's why the Yankees have in the huge storage room here at Yankee Stadium right now 60,000 of those official Little League bats. So no youngster will go away disappointed. One city in the league, I know we played there on Bat Day, and they ran out of bats, and the kids were given slips of paper, coupons that they could redeem later, but it's not quite the same as getting the bat. The Yankees will not make that mistake because they have 60,000 bats on hand here at the stadium.
All right, Frank, top half of the sixth inning, Amos Otis, Bob Oliver, and Lou Pinella, the heart of the Royals batting order. The windup by Kekich, and the pitch to Amos Otis, strike when it's called, no balls and 1 strike. Otis hit a home run in the first inning and bounced back to the box in the fourth. Wrapped the ball hard, and Kekich made a nice play on it. Yankees 5 and Kansas City 3, top half of the sixth inning. Kekich into the windup. Delivers to Otis, who takes another curve, and it's in there again. Strike 2, no balls and 2 strikes. Yankees gave Kekich 1 lead at 2-1 in the third, and he gave it right back. 4 base hits made it 3-2 Kansas City, but now the Yankees have gone out ahead 5-3. The windup, the 0-2 delivery. Otis swings, bounding ball, foul outside of third down the left field line, and the count holds at 0-2. Part of the Yankee order came through: a triple by Mercer, a double by White, a home run by Cater. No balls and 2 strikes. Washington leading Chicago 5-3 after 8. We'll have a complete rundown on the scoreboard after the sixth inning. A lot of rainouts tonight. No balls, 2 strikes. The windup, the pitch to Otis, swinging a bounding ball, hit out past the mound to shortstop. Michael with it, side-ons it to first, got him, and there's 1 away. So Amos Otis bounces out to shortstop for the first out. And it'll bring up Bob Oliver, the third baseman, who struck out at singles, scored a run in the 4th inning. Oliver 1 for 2 on the night, coming in with a batting average of .291. Oliver, with his base hit, extended his hitting streak to 6 games, and he was 8 for his last 20 coming in, so he's now 9 for his last 21. That's a pace of over 400. I tell you, these Royals can hit the ball. They're an interesting ball club. Here's the windup and the pitch. He swings, his bat goes out to the mound, and the ball goes foul over to the Royals dugout. Mike Kekich flips the ball back. The foul ball, strike 1. We mentioned earlier the Royals have not been shut out all season. I think fans like to see a lot of runs. You hear a lot of talk about what a great game a 1-0 game was, but I think most of the fans would say that's absolute baloney. They like runs, they like hits. And that's what they've been getting so far in Big League Baseball this year, and certainly with the Yankees. 0-1 the count. I see a lot of the Cleveland Indian pitchers have been complaining because they've brought in the fences at Cleveland. But I'll tell you, the series we had there was mighty exciting. Line drive, hit the left field. It's in there for a base hit for Oliver. White playing the ball over near the line. Oliver with a big turn. White floats the ball in the second base, and Oliver gets back to first. A lot of home runs in that Cleveland series, a lot of action, and a lot of thrilling ball games as well. And that's what the fans like to see. Plus, they like to see the home team win. And in that series, the Yankees beat the Indians 3 out of 4. Here's Lou Pinella. Pinella is always dangerous. Rookie of the year last year. This year hitting .349. In this game, he has struck out in singles. He has hit 5 home runs. He's up there right now with a chance to get the Royals even. Yankees leading 5-3 on the top of the 6th. 17 hits in the game. There's the stretch. Kekich to Pinella. High, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Pinella, the cleanup hitter. Batting right-handed against the left-hander, Mike Kekich. Kekich goes to the belt, kicks, delivers. Long drive, hit to right. Bluffery going back and towards the fence. He reaches up. He makes a one-handed catch. Turns and throws the ball back into second. Would you believe Kurt Bluffery? A great catch in right field. I don't believe it would have been in the seats, but it wouldn't have missed by much. A great catch by Kurt Bluffery, going over towards the line and reaching up above the fence. Now, he wasn't right up against it, so I won't say it would have gone in. Might have hit the fence, but it would have been a mess of trouble, and Kurt Bluffery made the catch. Well, that home run certainly made him feel a lot better. Oh, he pulled that one out of the muggy air here at Yankee Stadium. 2 outs, and here's Joe Keogh. Keogh, left-handed batter. The stretch. The pitch, curveball, strike 1, it's called. Up on the scoreboard, they have Senior Citizens Day, Saturday at 2 o'clock against the White Sox. Hope to see all the senior citizens out here at Yankee Stadium. No balls and 1 strike. A stretch and the pitch. In there for the call, strike 2, 0-2 to Keogh. 0-2 to Keogh with 2 outs and Bob Oliver on first base. Yankees leading at 5-3. Pinella hit that ball just about as hard as you can hit it. The only thing that really stopped it from being a home run besides Bluffery was the fact it didn't have any height. There's a bounding ball back through the box. Michael, nice play at second base. Feeds it to Clark. He's out at second, and another great play. Michael was flat on his face. Somehow reached up and flipped the ball to Clark just in time for the out. 2 great plays for the Yankees. They get a big hand as they come in. So they belted the ball for 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. 2 outstanding plays on the top of the 6th. It's 5-3. The Yankees lead it. Checking that inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 great plays, and 1 man left. The end of 5 1/2. New York 5, Kansas City 3.
Well, following these Kansas City Royals, the Chicago White Sox will be in here for the weekend. And then next Tuesday and Wednesday nights, June 9th and 10th, for 2 night games at 8 o'clock, it'll be the Minnesota Twins are in the thick of the battle for first place in the Western Division of the American League. A lot of folks maintain the ball clubs play a little better baseball when they're battling for first place. Well, the Yankees are battling for first place, trying to overtake the Orioles. The Minnesota Twins battling to stay ahead of the California Angels. So they'll be in here for 2 exciting games next Tuesday and Wednesday nights. And if we have the excitement in those we had in the recent series out at Minnesota, well, you'll certainly get your money's worth. Yankees won 1 of the 3 games out there, lost 10-6 and then 7-6 on those 2 home runs to Harmon Killebrew. And Killebrew will be leading the Twins in with the American League's leading hitter, Rod Carew, and the man Ralph Houk maintains is the best hitter in the league, Tony Oliva, next Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, Gene Michael gets a nice round of applause as he goes up there, and, well, he deserves it. He's come up with 2 sparkling plays at shortstop tonight, and both of them on Joe Keogh.
Boy, and he made a play last night in the 9th inning on a line drive. Gene has had some great fielding games for the Yankees. Here's the pitch. Strike 1 is called. No balls and 1 strike. Perhaps his best fielding night was the one in Cleveland in that Friday night game. Alvin Dock, who should know, being a great shortstop himself, called his play great. Swing and a miss by Michael, 0-2. That last play was a honey. After he got it and fell flat, reaching out for it, you'd figure there was no chance. Because Clark was going for the ball, too, in the first place. Then Clark had to run over to the bag, and he got the throw just in time. Barehanded, incidentally. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, ball one. 1-2. We mentioned Senior Citizens Day a moment ago. This Saturday, fans 60 and older will be admitted for a 50-cent service charge. The windup and the pitch. Outside, ball two. So come on out, all you senior citizens, on Saturday. As a matter of fact, come out all the time, whether it's a reduced price or not. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The windup, the pitch to Gene Michaels, swinging a foul ball back into the mezzanine and back downstairs, and the count is even at 2-2. Like to see the older people coming in for the 50-cent charge. Because with the inflation you have and everything, they're the people that feel it the most. Here's the pitch, swinging a little pop-up, hit beyond second base. Center fielder Amos Otis coming in, Stevenson going out, and Otis makes the catch. Amos Otis, the center fielder, comes on, and there's 1 out. 1 out, and here's Mike Kekich. He got a base hit his last time up after striking out his first time up in the 3rd inning. Yankees leading at 5-3, bottom half of the 6th inning. Kekich is now challenging Fritz Peterson. Kekich has 3 base hits and 11 at-bats. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 1. One ball and no strikes to Kekich. Mike bats right-handed, even though he throws left. Swings, bounding ball, hit out towards second base. Stevenson in quickly, up with a throw to first, got him. 2 outs for the Yankees quickly here on the bottom of the 6th inning after all the excitement. The bottom of the 5th and the top half of the 6th. 2 outs, and Horace Clarke will be the batter. Well, making out on that last play puts Mike Kekich down at 250. 3 for 12. Still not a bad batting average for a pitcher. So Kekich is out 4-3. 2 outs, and here's Horace Clarke. Last time he was out 4-3. Prior to that, he had 2 base hits. Horace will be batting right-handed for the first time against the lefty Bergmeyer. Had his 2 base hits batting left-handed. The windup by Bergmeyer, the pitch. Clarke swings and misses strike 1. Well, you don't see that too often, but Horace gave it his home run swing.
He did. He really gave it a big rip.
Horace has hit 2 home runs. 0-1. Let's see if he does it again. Bergmeyer delivers. Swing, and he pops it up. This one will be to the infield. Third baseman Oliver calling for it in front of Hernandez, and he makes the catch to retire the side. So the Yankees go quietly in the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. But at the end of 6, the Yankees 5 and the Kansas City Royals 3. Right now, we'll have a look at the scoreboard and find out what's happening elsewhere. We've had a lot of rain on the scoreboard tonight. Minnesota-Boston game was rained out. They tried to start at Zepp against Siebert, but it was rained out. And the Kansas City Royals 3. Right now, we'll have a look at the scoreboard and find out what's happening elsewhere. We've had a lot of rain on the scoreboard tonight. Minnesota-Boston game was rained out. They tried to start at Zepp against Siebert, but it was rained out. Chicago and Washington at the end of 8. Washington leads at 5-3. Tommy John started for the White Sox. Tommy Sisk came on in the 8th inning. Joe Coleman for Washington, and Darrell Knowles has come on in the 9th. So chances are the White Sox are doing something. They've been up for a while in the top of the 9th. Washington leading there 5-3. White Sox will be in here at the stadium Friday night. Cleveland and Milwaukee, they played 2.5, and somebody scored in every half inning. It's 5-4. Cleveland at the end of 2.5. Hand going all the way for Cleveland. Krause started for Milwaukee. Locker in the 2nd. Patton in the 3rd. Duke Sims has hit 2 home runs. 1 with 2 on. Man, is he hitting. He's been out with a bad hand, but ever since the converted catcher was moved to left field just prior to the Yankee series, he has been hitting. He now has 9 home runs, Duke Sims. Tommy Hoffa hit 1, number 8, for the Milwaukee Brewers. Detroit at California later, Baltimore and Oakland later. National League, the Mets at Atlanta rained out. San Diego at Pittsburgh rained out. Philadelphia and Cincinnati at the end of 5. It's 4-3. The Phillies leading the Reds. Bunning against Nolan. Taylor is hit number 5 and Doyle number 1. At the end of 6, it's Houston 5, Montreal nothing. Moore against Billingham. The Cubs won in 11 over the Dodgers 6-5 this afternoon, and San Francisco 5, St. Louis 2 after 3 tonight. We're ready for the top half of the 7th inning. The Yankees leading at 5-3. Coming on for the play-by-play, Frank Messer.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. And it is Rich Severson who leads it off against Mike Kekich. First pitch to him is outside, ball 1. This will be the farthest Kekich has gone this year, 6 innings, his most on the mound in any one stint. He's now pitching here on the top of the 7th. Severson, right-hand batter. Kekich turns it loose, and it's in there for a strike. Severson is 1 for 2 in the ball game. He did not play last night. Kekich looks in, takes the sign. Yankees out in front 5-3. Bombers have 10 hits in the ball game. The pitch, Severson looks, it's high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Duke Sims with 2 home runs tonight. They're just in the 4th inning. So I presume he hit him his first 2 times up. He also had 2 home runs in last night's ball game for Cleveland. Possibility of 4 for 4. Pitch is inside. Ball 3. I do not know at which turns at bat he hit his home runs last night, but he did have 2 in that game, and he has 2 tonight. With that game being just in the 4th, I would presume, Phil, even with 5 runs across, he did hit him his first 2 times.
Oh, I would say so. I know he hit one in the first inning.
All right, 3-1 pitch to Severson. It is ball 4, gets through Munson to the backstop, but it bounds back. Munson retrieves it, and Severson will get no further than first base. That is the first walk given up by Kekich, and the first walk in the series given up by a Yankee pitcher. That base on ball sends Ralph Halk out to the mound. As we said, this is as far as Kekich has gone in any game this year. So he may be tiring a bit. Halk wants to go out and be sure, and of course we don't know what conversation might have transpired between Kekich and Halk in the dugout, and Halk is going to make a pitching change right here.
I was a little surprised, Frank, to see Kekich run so hard down to first base on that ground ball for 2 reasons. One, it's been a long game, and with the rain delay, and also he had pulled a hamstring muscle running hard down to first base early in the year. Not that that took so much out of him, but he has not had an easy ball game, even though he's only walked 1 man. That was his first walk of the night. Can you see who's coming on?
Jack Akers. So Kekich goes 6 innings plus 1 batter. He has given up 3 runs, 7 hits. This is the only walk, and Kekich registered 5 strikeouts in the 6 innings he pitched, and Jack Aker will come on to take over. Aker has been a busy man, as have the top 3 Yankee relief pitchers this year. This will be Aker's 18th game. Steve Hamilton has been in 16. Lindy McDaniel has been in 20, and there's the hand for Kekich as he comes off the mound. Aker has a record of 2 wins, 1 loss, 9 saves. In 31 innings, he has pitched to an earned run average of 2.06. Aker last pitched in the series at Minnesota on the 30th. He'll come on with the potential tying run at the plate. Aker pitched in that 10-6 Yankee loss. He went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 1 run, 5 hits. Did not walk anybody and did not strike out anybody. We have a final score from Washington. Senators have edged the Chicago White Sox 5-4. Joe Coleman gets the win. He is 4-3. And Tommy John, the loser, he is 4-8. And, Phil, out in Oakland, the Baltimore Orioles are going to send the left-hander, Mike Cuellar, against Roland Fingers of the Oakland A's.
McQuayoff pitched quite a ball game his last time out. Somebody's got to stop those birds.
Well, right now, Aker is ready to work to L.A. Rodriguez. The pitcher, Bergmeyer, is on deck. Rodriguez is 1 for 2 in this ball game and 3 for 6 in the series. At first base, Rich Severson, the set on the pitch. Low and outside, knocked down by Munson. 1 ball and no strikes. Bergmeyer is on deck. He's been up only 1 time and does not have a base hit. 1-0 pitch. On the inside corner, a strike. 1-1. We'll see whether or not Bergmeyer bats. It may very well depend on what Rodriguez does in this turn. Aker to the belt. Turns it loose. He's outside and low. Ball 2, 2-1. Yankees lead 5-3 here in the top half of the 7th inning. Rich Severson down at first base. Cater is not holding the runner on. He is playing it halfway, protecting the line against the possible base hit. The set, the pitch. Breaking pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 2, and the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ellie Rodriguez. Rodriguez stepped away, looked back at the plate umpire, George Maloney, and asked if it was a good pitch, and he was assured that it was. It would have been a strike had he not taken the cut. Two pitch from Aker. Fouled back toward the on-deck circle. Count holds. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yankees tonight trying to make it 2 in a row over the Kansas City Royals and move 5 games above the 500 mark. Aker takes his time. Checks with Munson on the side. To the belt and pitches. And it's hit on the ground to shortstop, Gene Michael. He flips to Clark, out at second, back to first base. Double play. A double play, 6-4-3. And the Yankees come up with another big defensive play in this ball game. On New York Yankee baseball, we pause for station identification.
The Yankees at home and away on WGY, Schenectady.
The pitcher, Bergmeyer, will bat for himself. He's a left-hand hitter.
You know, they used him as a pinch hitter a couple of times, Frank, I remember.
Last year, yes.
Uh-huh.
He swings and misses, strike 1. I recall seeing him last year, Phil. He was a mighty fine-looking athlete. He pitched an excellent ball game against the Yankees in relief and swung the bat pretty well. No balls and a strike time. They play him to pull on the infield. He swings and misses. Big curveball for strike 2. Aker bends down to pick up the sign, arms high. Here it comes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So on 3 pitches, Bergmeyer strikes out, and Aker puts out the fire in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And now at the end of the top half of the 7th inning, the score, the New York Yankees 5 and the Kansas City Royals 3.
Take me out to the ball game has been the popular chant of millions of Americans for generations, but few have enjoyed a close-up of the baseball scene as Mark Michael describes it in the June issue of Jack and Jill magazine. Mark is the 7-year-old son of New York Yankee shortstop Gene Michael, one of the best infielders in baseball today. Boys and girls will read of the excitement of watching a game at Yankee Stadium and the glamour in the life of a professional baseball player. Children will share the thrill of going through the Hall of Fame, of sitting in the dugout or swinging one of the professional bats. My Father is a New York Yankee is not just another sports story. It's a moving commentary of a warm relationship between a boy and his dad, and a happy way of life in one American household.
Well, the final game of this three-game series tomorrow night here at the stadium at 8 o'clock. It'll be Stan Bonson for the Yankees and Jim Rooker, the left-hander, for Kansas City. And Rooker, if you heard Frank mention last night, has driven in 5 runs in one game, something I didn't know, so we'll look for him, not only pitching, but up at the plate. I think, I don't know whether he started as an outfielder, but I know he's been used as a pinch hitter.
He was on deck to bat last night, I believe, when the last out was registered in the ballgame. Here is Jerry Kenney to lead off the bottom half of the 7th. The windup and the pitch to Kenney. Low and outside, a fastball from Bergmeyer, ball 1. Kenney is 1 for 3 tonight after going 2 for 2 last night, so he has 3 hits in 5 trips in this series, plus a walk and a sacrifice fly to drive in a run. He hits this one on one hop right back to the mound. Bergmeyer has it, flips it over to first base, and there's one away. So Bergmeyer, since coming on following Danny Cater's home run in the 5th inning, has now retired 6 men in a row. The batter is Bobby Mercer, 2 for 3 tonight. A single, and he scored a run in the 3rd inning. He tripled with 1 out and scored a run in the 5th. Mercer's triple hit the top of the auxiliary scoreboard in right center. He hits this one a ton to center field, chasing after it Otis, and he makes the catch on the run to retire Mercer. Amos Otis had to give that one a long run, going back and to his right. Two down, and Roy White steps in. Roy is 2 for 3 tonight. Singled in the 3rd, doubled to drive Mercer home in the 5th, and White scored on Danny Cater's long home run to left field. Fastball is inside at the knees, ball 1. The windup by Bergmeyer in the pitch. Gets the plate for a strike. 1-1. Yankees leading 5-3. Bottom half of the 7th inning. 2 outs, none on. Bergmeyer's pitch is inside again. 2 balls and 1 strike. This game had a 20-minute rain delay, and through first half of the game, it rained off and on steadily here at the stadium. 2-1 pitch. Foul back on the screen to our right. 2 balls and 2 strikes. White batting right-handed for the first time tonight. And the pitch to him. He takes it for strike 3 call. Breaking pitch over about shoulder high, and White is caught looking. 3 up, 3 down. Nothing across for the Yankees, and at the end of 7, the score is New York 5 and Kansas City 3.
Here it is, one more big reason why it's a pleasure to shop Grand Union. The big news this week, USDA choice, bottom round roast or boneless cross rib roast. 2 top cuts of beef, Grand Union beef, so they're all solid meat, absolutely no waste. Bottom round roast, boneless cross rib roast. At Grand Union, just 89 cents a pound. That's right, 89 a pound. You can't buy this quality for this price anywhere but at Grand Union.
Grand Union, it's a real thing. Coke is, that's the way it should be. Coca-Cola, what the world wants to see. Oh, yeah, a real thing. Coca-Cola, that's the way it is. Fill a bottle of Coke.
If you want to live life really refreshed, give yourself the real taste of Coke.
Buy Coca-Cola in returnable bottles and don't litter the landscape. Your Coca-Cola bottler reminds you to help keep America beautiful.
Defensive change for the Yankees. Ron Woods has come on to play right field, replacing Kurt Bluffery. And we go to the 8th inning. The top of the order comes on for the Kansas City Royals. That means Pat Kelly, Jack Hernandez, and Amos Otis. Jack Aker trying to register his 10th save of the year and preserve this victory for Mike Kekich. Yankees out in front, 5-3. Yankees 5 runs, 10 hits. The Royals 3 runs on 7. It has been an errorless ball game through the first 7 innings. Kelly has grounded out all 3 times up. Once to Cater, once to the pitcher Kekich, and once to Clark at second. Left-hand batter, Aker winds, kicks and deals. Kelly takes low and away, ball 1. Aker bends down, picks up the sign from Munson, delivers the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, ground ball, hit to Cater at first base. He's up with it, makes the play unassisted. And for the 4th time in a row, Kelly grounds out. The batter now will be Jack Hernandez, the shortstop. Hernandez has struck out, grounded out to Michael at short, and flied to Mercer in center. Yankees lead it 5-3. The 3 Kansas City runs have been driven in by Otis on a homer, Keogh, and Rodriguez with singles. Breaking pitch is over, strike call. 0-1 to the right-hand hitting Jack Hernandez. Hernandez has stepped away from the plate, now moves back in. Kenny plays him in very tight at third base to protect against the bunt. The pitch coming. He bluffs the bunt, takes it outside, 1-1. So Jerry Kenny thinking right along with the right-hand hitting Hernandez. Gene Michael fairly well over in the hole. Outfield shallow in center and right. White in left field straight away. And the 1-1 pitch to him. Hernandez looks it over, and it's wide. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Yankees lead 5-3. You've got a noisy crowd here tonight, Phil. You know, you get a night like this where it's raining all over the area. You know, the fans that turn out are hardy fans and true baseball fans. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on the fastball, strike 2. A lot of folks come out in groups. A lot of people come alone, but those who come alone are not alone once they get into the ballpark. They find many kindred souls. 2-2 pitch to Hernandez. He bunts it off the third base side of the mound. Aker cannot field it, and he is on. Jack Aker came off, slipped in the wet grass, and Aker will be charged with an error. And you can't say that Hernandez surprised everybody with that bunt because Aker came off the mound in a flash, but slipped on the wet grass and then couldn't handle it. That is the first error of the ball game, so the Royals have a man at first, 1 away, and they bring up Amos Otis. Otis pulled a home run into the seats in left field, his 6th of the year in the first inning. Since then, he has bounced back to the pitcher and grounded out to Michael at short. Michael again pulls way over in the hole against him. White plays a deep left field over toward the corner. Mercer is straight away in center. The pitch inside almost hit him. Out in right field, Ron Woods is shaded over toward the Yankee bullpen area, and Woods in right is fairly deep. Taylor holds against the base runner, Hernandez at first. Kenny is backed off, protecting the line at third. Aker, very short stretch. Delivers, and it is over but low. 2 balls and no strikes to Amos Otis. Otis, one of, a few players in the American League this year to come up with as many as 5 hits in a ball game. Two-nothing pitch. Line foul off the left side. To my knowledge, 5 players in the American League have had as many as 5 hits in a ball game. Otis being one of them. Yankees' Horace Clark did it. Al Kaline of the Tigers. Rod Carew of Minnesota. I believe the last one to do it was Aparicio, the White Sox shortstop, in that 22-13 ball game last Sunday in Boston.
I think there were 2 White Sox players had 5 hits in that game.
All right. Pitcher's taken for a strike, 2-2.
I think Louis had 5 for 5, and I'm trying to think of the other one who had 5 for 7.
Could have been
Walt Nonek Williams. This is a
Williams, that's right.
It's right behind us.
Right
boy.
That's what I did. That's right. Walter Williams did have 5 hits in that game.
That's the kind of fans to have, boy, right on the ball.
That's right. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Amos Otis. Here's the pitch. He fouls it off to the on-deck circle, and it is flagged down by Bob Oliver.
You know, that's a funny feeling. You're talking about something, you're trying to find out something, you hear some voice in the back, you look up, say, who's calling? Very interesting.
You get like Lou Pinella, you're looking up now.
You know why I'm looking up? It's starting to rain again.
Uh-oh, it sure is. I didn't even notice it. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Otis. Hernandez at first. Here's the pitch. He hits it on the ground toward Michael at short. Gene flips to Clark out at second, back to first base. No play there, and Cater made a fine save of a ball that was thrown very wide. Cater dove for it and came up with it. Had Cater not come up with it, that ball had a chance of going into the dugout, which would have given the runner Otis an extra base. Hernandez is out on the force. Michael to Clark. Otis becomes the base runner, and with 2 outs, Bob Oliver is the batter. Oliver is 2 for 3. Walt Williams in Sunday's game went 5 for 7. He and Aparicio will be in here for the White Sox series this weekend. 2 outs, a man on. Yankees lead 5-3. Pitch to Oliver. Breaking pitch is swung on and fouled at the feet of Thurman Munson. Strike 1. Oliver struck out to end the first inning. Then he singled to center field and scored a run in the 4th. Singled to left field in the 6th. Akers sets. Kicks and deals. Breaking pitches inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball and 1 strike to the right-hand hitting Oliver. Lou Pinella is on deck. Aker turns it loose. It is swung on. Fly ball is hit out into center field. Mercer trying to outrun it. Reaches up and makes a one-hand catch. Way out in straightaway center field. Bobby Mercer going back for all he was worth. And that ball stayed up in the air long enough for him to get to it. He caught it over his head, going back as hard as he could go. Fine catch by Mercer in center to retire the side. No runs, no hits. A Yankee error and a man left at the end of 7 1/2. It's the New York Yankees 5 and Kansas City 3.
Low-cost savings bank life insurance presents another chapter of Ashton Alley. Yesterday we learned that Scarlett Hackbart, the Southern belle who married domineering Hiram Hackbart, has been pining for her girlhood days in Bogalusa. We left as Scarlett's innermost feelings boiled to the surface after 27 years.
Hiram, my innermost feelings are boiling to the surface.
After 27 years?
I miss the Magnolia and the Bogalusa Light Infantry Ball. They have so much in Bogalusa.
Yes, but they don't have low-cost savings bank life insurance. They don't have SBLI's top-quality protection at low cost. They don't have SBLI's variety of plans. You have to live or work in New York State to get that kind of life insurance, Scarlett.
Hiram, isn't there more to life than low-cost savings bank life insurance?
Let me think about that.
Stay tuned to this station for another chapter of Ashton Alley, brought to you by Low Cost Savings Bank Life Insurance.
Available at Schenectady Savings Bank, where Clinton way.
Danny Cater will lead off as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Cater's home run in the 5th with White on, put the Yankees in the lead 5-3. He takes high and away, ball one. Cater grounded into a forced play in the first inning, and again in the third, both times to the shortstop. Then hit a two-run homer his last time up. Pitch is in there for a called strike, 1-1. Cater's homer was the last hit off the starter, Dick Drago. It was after the home run that Bergmeyer came in, and Bergmeyer has retired 8 men in a row. The pitch to Cater, swing and a foul off the shin guards of the catcher, Rodriguez. A ball and 2 strikes. Bergmeyer set down 8 Yankees in a row, has registered 2 strikeouts. Yankees lead 5-3. Ron Woods is on deck. The windup, the 1-2 pitch to Cater. He lines it out toward right center field, and it is caught on a running catch by the right fielder, Kelly. Pat Kelly closing ground in a hurry. Phil, he's got to be one of the fastest outfielders in the league.
No doubt about it. And boy, I tell you that, Danny Cater, every time he hits the ball, it's right on the nose, whether it's a ground ball or a line drive or the home run. It's exciting to watch.
Kelly made a fine catch out there. Now Ron Wood steps in, batting for the first time tonight. Hits the first pitch back off the right leg of the pitcher. Bergmeyer's after it, throws to first base. He's out. Quick recovery by the pitcher, Bergmeyer. On a shot off his right leg, it bounced well over toward third base. Bergmeyer fielded it and threw out the speedy Woods at first base.
Well, that's 2 fine defensive plays as you'll ever want to see in any ball game, the one by Pat Kelly and this one by Bergmeyer, because he, as Frank said, was hit hard right off the leg, and it bounded away from him, and he was like a cat pecking it up on that wet grass and threw him out.
2 down. And now Thurman Munson steps in. Thurman is 0 for 3 tonight. Munson takes high, ball 1. One and 0 the count to Thurman Munson. Bergmeyer fires. Munson takes high and outside, ball 2. Gene Michael on deck. The Yankees lead 5-3 here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Looking to the top of the 9th, Pinella, Keogh, and Severson will be due up in that order for Kansas City. Munson swings and fouls one back for a strike, 2-1. Bergmeyer looking down to Ellie Rodriguez for the sign. The left-hander pumps high. Here's the pitch. Fastball, foul back on the netting. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Thurman Munson. The Orioles and the Athletics have completed 1 inning in Oakland, and they are scoreless. And Oakland has gone out in front now, 1-0 in the second, as Frank Fernandez has just hit a home run, we're told. And it's confirmed. 2-2 pitch to Munson. He reaches out for a change-up curve and fouls it back just into the mezzanine off to our right. That was Fernandez's 2nd home run of the year. Oh, check that, his 4th home run of the year. I beg your pardon. Two balls and 2 strikes to Munson. The pitch. Fastball hit in the air out into left field. Lou Pinella waiting for it. Makes a one-hand catch. And the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down. Nothing across. And out the end of 8 full innings of play. The score, the New York Yankees 5 and the Kansas City Royals 3.
The Arco Circle. It's on the north slope of Alaska, 200 miles north of the Arctic Circle. Finding oil there is hard. Getting it out of the ground is almost impossible. The men of Atlantic Richfield do the impossible. They work 12 hours a day in 45-degree below zero temperatures. They go through $10 worth of gloves a week and a $30 pair of boots a month. They work in the dark most of the year, and they work hard. Why do they come here to drill for oil? Well, the pay's good, the food's good, and besides, nobody ever did it before. Atlantic Richfield went all the way to Alaska to provide your local Atlantic dealer with the finest Arco petroleum products for your car.
We go now to the ninth inning. Lou Pinella, Joe Keogh, and Rich Severson due up for the Kansas City Royals. Pinella has 2 for 3 tonight. He went 2 for 4 last night. Fine catch by Kurt Bluffery. Took another base hit and possibly a home run away from him in the 6th inning. Pinella hit the ball deep to the right field corner, and Bluffery on the run near the seats made a one-hand catch over his head. Yankees leading 5-3. Series winds up tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Bonson for the Yankees and Jim Rooker, a left-hander, will pitch for Kansas City. Jack Aker winds his pitch. Swing and a miss by Pinella. Strike one. Pinella went fishing for a breaking ball. Turned his back on the plate, walked away, now steps back in. Scuffling the dirt around with his right foot. Rain still coming down. Well, this game will be finished, I feel sure. The windup, and here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Aker's fastball has a sinking tendency, and he had Pinella swinging over the top of it. Now the 0-2 pitch. Breaking pitch, low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. At the end of 2, Oakland 1, Baltimore nothing. The Fernandez home run, the only scoring. 1-2 pitch to Pinella. Fouled it back off the barrel end of the bat, just the tip end. Count holds 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yankees lead at 5-3. Swing and a miss by Pinella. Strike 3. Oh, Jack Aker picks up his 2nd strikeout since coming out in relief of starter Mike Kekich in the 7th inning. Now the left-hand hitting Joe Keogh. Robbed of a base hit by Gene Michael in the 2nd. He singled in the 4th and grounded into a force play in the 6th. He bunts and misses. Strike 1. Michael has made 2 sparkling plays on Keogh. He threw him out in the 2nd inning. And in the 6th, Michael took his ground ball and turned it into a force play at 2nd as he and Clark came up with a dandy. 1 strike pitch. He bounces it, foul off the first baseline. No balls, 2 strikes. Yankees leading 5-3, top half of the 9th inning. Aker came on in relief following a walk to Severson in the 7th. Pitch is cut on, bounced foul again. Flagged down this time by Danny Carnevale, the first base coach. Count holds 0-2 on Keogh. Rich Severson is on deck. Aker looking down the lane to Munson. Arms high. He turns it loose. Fastball is lined out into left field. It's going to be in for the base hit. Roy White comes up with the ball, and Keogh is on with an opposite field single. That makes Keogh 2 for 4 in the game. Like Severson may have been called back. And they will use Ed Kirkpatrick as a pinch hitter for Rich Severson. Ed Kirkpatrick. Let's see what Kirkpatrick is doing for the year. Shows a batting average of .227. But he has hit 7 home runs and has 20 runs batted in.
He got off to a quick start, Frank. He had those very early in the season. It's funny how certain players get hot early in the year and carry a club, and other players come along. But he's always dangerous with that short right field porch here, left-hand batter.
Kirkpatrick started in right field, played the entire ball game last night. He went 0 for 4, struck out twice, flied to right, and grounded into a force play. Left-hand hitter. Kirkpatrick as a pinch hitter this year is 0 for 7. Pitch to him. Line drive. Caught by Clark. No play at first. Well, he got around on that one, and Clark had him played just right. Well, over to the right side of the diamond, reached out and speared it. On New York Yankee baseball, we pause for station identification.
The Yankees at home and away on WGY, Schenectady.
Two down, and now Ollie Rodriguez, the catcher. Keogh at first. The set by Aker, and here's the pitch to Rodriguez. Breaking pitch drops in for a strike. That ball hit by Kirkpatrick was really walloped so hard that after Clark made the catch, there was no chance to double Keogh up. He had no chance to take more than a step and a half. 0-1 pitch. Inside, gets away from Munson. That will move Keogh down to second. So Keogh is at second. We'll get the official scorer's ruling. It's charged as a passed ball to Thurman Munson. Passed ball. That is the 4th passed ball charged to Munson this year. One ball and 1 strike to Ollie Rodriguez. Aker checks Keogh and delivers. Curve is hit on the ground is short. Michael has it. The throw to first base. The ball game is over. The Yankees win it 5-3. Rodriguez grounds out Michael to Cater in the 9th inning for the Royals. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man is left on base. I'll be back with the totals and the recap in just a moment. The final score again, the New York Yankees 5 and Kansas City 3.
We are having a Brazilian towel dance in celebration of the Brazilian towel sale at your Atlantic service stations. Import a Brazilian bath towels in an elegant jacquard weave for only $1.29. Oh, and the beach towel for only $2.99. And get this, amigo, when you buy the bath mat for only $2.49, you get a hand towel free. Yay, yay, yay! Each towel comes in avocado or gold. You can get one with every purchase of gasoline at a participating Atlantic station. Pretty soon, you'll have enough for your own Brazilian towel dance. Oh, you don't know how? It's simple. You dance to the rhythm of drying your back with a towel.
No purchase required in New Jersey.
At the Atlantic station.
You've just heard one of the... The totals on the ball game. For the New York Yankees, 5 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. For the Kansas City Royals, 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. The winning pitcher is Mike Kekich. His record is 2-1. The loser, Dick Drago, 3-4. So the Yankees, 5 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. Kansas City, 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Mike Kekich gets the win. He is 2-1. Dick Drago, the loser, 3-4. And Jack Aker gets the save, his 10th of the year. A quick look at the scoring innings. The Royals broke on top with a run in the first inning. With 2 outs, Amos Otis homered to the seats in left field, his 6th home run of the year. And the Royals led 1-0. The Yankees took the lead with 2 runs on 3 hits in the third. After Kekich, the pitcher, struck out, Clark singled. Kenny bounced out to the pitcher. Then Mercer singled to drive in a run. And Roy White singled to get Mercer home. Mercer had taken second base as the throw came from right field on Clark, but they didn't get him at the plate. Mercer went to second and scored on White's single. The Yankees led 2-1. The Royals got the lead back in the fourth with 1 out. Singles by Oliver and Pinella, and Keogh produced 1 run, and Ellie Rodriguez drove in another with a base hit to center field. On Rodriguez's single, Joe Keogh was thrown out at third base, but the run scored just before the out was made. The Yankees came back to win the ball game in the 5th. With 1 out, Mercer tripled off the top of the auxiliary scoreboard in right center. Roy White drove him home with a double to center field to tie the ball game up. And a moment later, Danny Cater unloaded his 4th home run of the season, about 5 rows deep into the seats in left field to win it for the Yankees. So that's the story on the ball game. A home run by Danny Cater was one of the key blows at the plate. Of course, don't take away the triple from Mercer, the White double, and the White single earlier. The runs batted in by Mercer, 1. Roy White had a pair of RBIs, and Cater knocked in the other 2 with the homer. And some fine defensive plays in the ball game. 2 more sparkling plays at shortstop by Gene Michael, and a fine catch by Bluffery on the ball hit by Pinella out into right field. Series winds up tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Stan Bonson goes for the Yankees, and the left-hander Tom Rooker will be on the mound for the Kansas City Royals. Once again, the final score tonight, the New York Yankees 5 and the Kansas City Royals 3. And now this is Frank Messer speaking for Phil Rizzuto, for Bob Gamere, for our producer Bob Stenner, our statistician Bill Kane, and our technician Sandy Alper, saying so long from Yankee Stadium in New York.